Chapter 1 Prologue. The Battle of the Hero and the Demon King. This battle has been repeated countless times in this world. The Demon King who rule over the demon race. There is only one Demon King in each era. When the Demon King in the current era is defeated, a demon with extraordinary power will become the new Demon King in the next era. It is how this world works. Therefore, the Demon King lineage will never be perished. That character is multifarious. The Demon King can level a mountain with their abnormal strength. The Demon King who can use sorcery and thousands of techniques. Having strong hostility towards the human race was common for the Demon King. The hope of the human race, the hero who fights the Demon King. The battle between the hero and the Demon King is exactly like a seesaw. If the hero can kill the Demon King, then the Demon King can repel the hero. Similar to the Demon King, the hero's existence too can't be perished. The battle of those two continues without stopping. This is the fate of this world. If there's tragedy, the relationship between the hero and the Demon King will be mutually congenial. Both are masters of the rare dimension magic. Magic equal to the gods being able to control space and dimension. They used their magic according to their own fate. Two magic clashes, the world screams. Both, the hero and the Demon King perished being unable to endure their own magic power. The aftermath of the magic reaches another world crossing the dimension. The large explosion exploded in a world named Earth, in a country named Japan, in a certain high school. Inside the classroom, a total of 26 people including teachers and students died after receiving a direct hit of the magic. The case was reported as a mysterious large explosion. But those who died did not know about the broadcast. Even if they are to be reborn, it is because their souls have flowed backward into the world where the hero fights against the Demon King. Their souls scattered in the new world and each one of them will be reborn as a new life. This is a story of one of them. Uguaga. I tried to groan but I can't seem to groan. Is my body in such a critical condition? Okay, calm down. There's no pain on my body. I recall that I was in a lesson of Japanese language, then suddenly I was attacked by a terrible pain. I probably fainted after that, but it doesn't hurt now. Even if I open my eyes, it's pitch black here, so I don't even know where am I. Or maybe I should say that I can't even move and I can feel that my body is covered by something. Is this the so-called vegetative state? Even though I want to deny it, but the possibility is high in this situation. I don't know what happened that time, but it looks like I have become a person in vegetative state. Naiwa. TL note, no way. Only having my consciousness, being unable to move my body, and it seems that I don't have my 5 senses. This is definitely going to be an insanity course. Naiwa. When I was thinking about it just now, I heard some faint rustling sound. This means that I still have my sense of hearing on. Even if I can hear, it doesn't change the current situation. Gan. Ouch. What was that? Did I bump something? I feel pain just now, so does it mean that I have my sense of touch? I should calm down for now. Thinking rationally, I feel a little uncomfortable, but it seems that I move my body. Geez, it looks like I was jumping into a wrong conclusion about the part being in a vegetative state. A while ago, my body was covered by something, but it seems that thing is exactly in the same state right now. Ahaha. No, it's not a laughing matter. Hey, what's with this situation? I was abducted and putted into a sack. No. Who would gain profit abducting a poor reputation woman like me? Anyway, I need to escape. Crack. When I tried putting my strength to move my body, something which covered my body started to fall apart. Looks like it's not a sack. I wonder what is it? It is somewhat soft and somewhat hard, a mysterious feeling. I just have to keep moving to break it. I will break it and immediately escape. Crack. It's opened. I crawl out starting from my head. With this, I am free. Before my eyes, there's a large amount of spiders crawling around. Owie. Kisha. What's with the huge spider army? Each one of them have the same size as me. It looks like they are coming out from something that looks like an egg. So the rustling sound I heard is this. I instinctively step back. Something hits my foot and I turn around. Is this that? The thing which I crawled out from a while ago. Somehow the thing looks like the egg of the spider army. Is it my imagination? Rather than looks like it, isn't it the same thing? Once again, I examine myself. My neck can't move. But on the edge of my view, I saw something that looks like a leg. The leg of a spider. Calm down. Is this that? Is it really that? The one that's popular in the internet? No, no, no. Like in a novel, where there's this godlike guy giving a privilege. I didn't get anything, so surely it's different. No matter how you look at it, there's still a pattern where the god doesn't comes out. A hero candidate for a man and a villain daughter for a woman are also one of the pattern too. I looked to the side for an instant once again. Similar to those spiders moving around, there was a thin wire-like leg. I tried to move my leg. It worked just as I wanted. Umu. Though escaping from reality is my forte, but I have to resolute myself to recognize it here. It seems that I have been reincarnated into a spider. Chapter 2 looks like I'm a monster. Well, it's regrettable to say that I have been reincarnated into a spider. Although I accept the fact that I'm a spider, what should I do now? Munch munch. For some reason, I heard a threatening sound. It's no good to turn my eyes away from reality. Before my eyes, there is the spider army that is probably considered as my siblings. They are the only one who can produce the sound. I glance ahead quietly. Munch munch. Hugya. What are they doing? Are they eating? They are preying on one another? The struggle to live between my siblings is what I can see. No, 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 no. This is bad, this is really bad. Why must I fight against my blood-related siblings? It's for food. They are all hungry. In fact, I am also hungry too. No. I escape from the reality again. In such a battlefield, I am just an innocent girl that will fall into the clutches of men in a blink of an eye. Literally, it's a metaphor. Fight. Tools. Escape. The only way to get through this situation is to beat a retreat. Should I fight? Impossible. I am a genuine go-home club. There's no way I can fight with such violent group. My current appearance is the same as them. I should escape if I have the time to think about useless things. Zune. Now, what is it? A sound and vibration from the rear. When I turn around, there was a huge spider. Oh. Is it mother? Or is it father? This isn't going anywhere. I'm even confused. Now. Isn't that spider way too big? It's probably 10 times of my size. Was there a spider that big on Earth? Chomp. The huge spider stabbed the smaller spider with its claw and ate it. It's like eating a snack. Mother, even you. It looks like it uses its bottom to think. I should run away from here safely and aim to survive for now. I escaped at full speed. I finally calmed down after I was tired of running till I can't even move anymore. There's no spider chasing after me even if I turn around. I thought I was gonna die. Death immediately after I was born is not a good joke. Now that I am conscious, I have think about various things. I am currently a spider. It's a fact that must be accepted already. Well, there's no such technique where a human can jump over their own height easily and run on vertical walls. What am I talking about? It's a story about escaping. With so many spiders in a place, it's impossible to escape by running straight. If I were to compare it and say, it should be like charging into a bargain sale where there's a crowd of anti. What a reckless act. No, well, I didn't even charge into a bargain sale before though. Anyway, when I was escaping, I jumped and ran on the wall just like a ninja and escaped from the spider encirclement. When I was running, I had an uncomfortable feeling because of the amount of legs, but somehow I managed to move it properly without getting entangled. Is it the so-called natural instinct? Well, being able to move my body without any inconveniences is a good thing. So if I am a spider, then what was that super huge spider that I saw a while ago? Considering the situation, was that really my mother or my father? I don't know much about spiders' ecology, but a parent who eats their own child should be in the natural world. Well, it's a race where from the moment they are born, they started preying on each other, so it shouldn't be strange that the parent eats its own child. If that huge spider is my parent, then will I become that size someday? I'm starting to feel sick just by thinking about it. No, spider is a beneficial insect which helped other people. Isn't it better rather than the me in my previous life? How strange, somehow I'm sad now. No. Let's return to the thought that had strayed a while ago. Comparing with that huge spider by the size of my body will be too much. Because I don't know how big is my body is. If my size is just like a fingertip, then it's good. If so, then I can understand the size of that huge spider. Still, it should be around the size of a tarantula. However, if my size is bigger, then that huge spider should be a new kind that is yet to be discovered on Earth. An undiscovered new species is still okay, but I have experienced a reincarnation like in a fantasy, so optimistic thinking is probably not good. To confirm it, I have to find out my size without delay. Is there anything that I can compare my size with? I looked around the surroundings. It seems that I'm inside a rather big cave. Although there's no light, the view is favorable even it's dim. I looked around restlessly. Oh, this is. What's on the ground was people's footprints. Oh. They are footprints of several people are left clearly. In other words, it means that a person came here before. That means there's human in this world. I'm deeply moved when I know there was a person. On the contrary, I realized a terrible fact. My body was way much bigger than the footprint of a person. Assuming that the height of the person is around 170 centimeters, my size will be approximately 1 meter. Length. I had slightly thought so since I saw that huge spider. No matter how I think, I am not a spider that's living on Earth. In other words, this is a different world unlike the Earth, and no matter how positive I think, I am definitely a monster. Thank you very much. Chapter 3. There was a time when I thought that appraisal was a cheat skill. I am a spider. I'm still nameless. What am I saying suddenly? I just want to say it just because I don't have a name. What am I referring to? To explain about it, I need to look back on the past. I was dumbfounded after confirming my size. Well, isn't it normal? It's already a shock to me that I was born as a spider. Furthermore, I'm a monster. This sucks. A normal person would have fallen in despair and commit suicide already. Well, I haven't thought of wanting to die yet. But I can't keep on feeling down. If here is not Earth and it's in a different world, then I don't know how dangerous this world is. There's no guarantee that there are no other monsters besides that huge spider. That huge spider probably is about 30 meters in length according to my size. Can a person defeat that thing? I pray for the owner of the footprints to not meet that huge spider. However, things are different when they have heavy firearms. In addition, there's a possibility where magic exists in the world. If that's the case, then can they resist against that huge spider to some extent? I don't know. But that spider definitely looks like a formidable enemy of the boss type enemy. Or rather, if I'm wrong, I would be dead. A while ago, I was assuming that the people will fight with that huge spider, but isn't it good that way? After all, I am probably the child of that huge spider. I'm the baby of a monster. Now's not the time to joke around. If somebody were to meet me, isn't it obvious that I'm going to be killed? It's possible. Or rather, the possibility being killed is high. What shall I do now? Even though I want some information about human, I will be killed if I were to be discovered. This is bad. The lesser the information, the more I don't understand. What kind of world is this? What kind of people live in this world? How do they treat monsters like me in this world? There's a lot I want to know about, but I don't have the way to find it out. If this was a novel, then there should be an appraisal skill for me to gather information. Currently you have 100 skill points. The skill appraisal LV1 can be acquired by spending 100 skill point. Do you want to acquire it? Seriously. Suddenly, I heard a voice in my head sounded like a machine. Oh, I see. There is a appraisal skill. Boy. I'm fired up. It somehow became like a different world reincarnation already. My answer is obviously a yes. Appraisal LV1 was acquired. Remaining skill point 0. Even though I used all my skill point, such points would surely increase by the time I level up, so there's no need to worry about that. Leaving that aside, I should check out my appraisal skill by examining various things. How to use it? Well, for now, I should try focusing on a rock while chanting appraisal in my mind. I feel that it went well. Information flowed quickly into my head. Stone. That's all. No. You can't mean it, right? I most likely failed for the first time. Let's try again. Stone. Hey. Don't tell me, it's only that. No, 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 no. Surely, this rock has no information value in it. Therefore, I am sure it's just a plain rock. Now, I will try to appraise the wall. By any chance, I might be able to know what kind of place is this. I would feel ease if there's a name and explanation about the cave after appraising it. Wall. I won't say anything this time. Appraisal LV1 purposely attaching an LV, I think I need to put a little more thought about it. In other words, the skill won't have much effect in LV1. Even though, I want to raise the LV, I don't have skill points to be used. It have wasted all my skill points. I don't know what kind of skill there is other than appraisal, but there should be a skill much more usable even in LV1. No, I should think oppositely. If appraisal is in this kind of state, then other skills should have a useless effect in LV1 too. Let's think this way. Otherwise, I cannot continue. Hiya. Naiwa. While I am on it, should I appraise myself? Spider. No name. It is as expected that Spider appeared after appraising, but no name. That sums up everything and it's back to the beginning. No name. Well, I have a name in my previous life, so does that mean that the present me as a spider do not have a name? For the time being, I will put away this useless appraisal skill. Or rather, I should say that it became more complicated due to the appraisal skill. Skill point. I can probably acquire new skills if I save some points. But I don't know how to gain the points. If this world uses the concept of LV, then I should be able to gain some points by LV up. If it's like that though, this world is like a game having LV, skill and points. Isn't it fine like this? At most, I am just a spider monster. I can't possibly live a decent life. In the first place, I am just a spider. I will probably be living a spider life rather than a human life. Anyways, in this game-like world, born as a spider, I should live amusingly as a spider in such a world, just like playing a game. For the time being, I am hungry. Chapter 4, Exploring a Dungeon for the first time. Now. It's no use standing on the same place for a long time, so I should start moving. Seems there are human footprints here, means that there are people in here, and I have a feeling that if we were to bump into each other, it would be troublesome. For the time being, let's move towards the opposite direction of the footprints. However, this cave sure is wide. The height of this cave is probably around 100 meters and the width should be approximately the same. I'm not entirely sure, due to the uneven rock scattered here and there, but it feels like the cave is considerably spacious. The wide path branches extending even further. Here is a Y-shaped intersection where there's the path where I come from, the path where the people go through, and the path that I am heading to. The path I'm going to is the one going downwards from the Y-shaped intersection. I climb the rock nearby and I peek at the path ahead quietly. Something is there. There are monsters lurking throughout the path. Deer 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 bat 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 wolf 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 dinosaur. The appraisal skill has gone rampaged. No, it looks like a deer, but the deer I know did not had a shining sword-like horn. The bats are also different. It looks like an ugly rodent with devil wings. The wolf looks relatively normal, or so I thought, but it has 6 legs. At the back, there is a dinosaur lying down. It's like a T-Rex that has a horn and scales. Rather than dinosaur, isn't it a dragon? Must I break through here? Isn't it impossible? No, doing something absurd might be good thing for a newborn small spider. The difficulty is lunatic. I stealthily descend from the rock. What to do? The front is a monster hazard. The back, one being a spider hell and another one is human. Am I being checkmated? Well, wait. Calm down. I have prepared a solution just in case something like this might happen. Well, it not an exaggerated thing. I just happened to found another path. Because of the huge Y-shaped intersection, it didn't stand out, but there is definitely a path. The passage was a hole in the wall. Still, the height of the hole is around 3 meters and the width is approximately the same. If there is a problem, it is the footprints of human that came out from the passage. If a person came out from the passage, doesn't that means that beyond this passage is the cave, or rather the dungeon's exit? The exit. Should I really go out? If I am a normal human being, I won't hesitate to go out. After all, it's obvious that this dungeon is way too high-leveled. I don't know how strong am I as a monster, and the moment I thought that it's impossible to win, the option to fight is excluded. No, if this is a game then dying won't be hard because I can revive, but if it's a reality then dying will practically be the end. I don't intend to stake my life into a suicide attack. I want to take as many safety measures as I can. When thinking like that, the choice to escape the dungeon doesn't seem to be a bad choice. Though the choice was not bad, I cannot say that it's safe to go out. After all, I am a monster. At least if there's people going in and out of the dungeon, that means that there's a human population nearby. If a monster spider were to show up in a human territory, obviously I would get hunted. That's the risk of going outside. However, if I can settle down in a place where it's hard to find, then it might work out. It's a matter of luck to skillfully avoid from humans or to continue to stay inside the dungeon. Yosh, I have decided it. For the time being, let's head to the dungeon's exit. I should watch the dungeon's exit and I should escape as soon as possible. There's a possibility that the humans may have pitched their tent at the entrance of the dungeon. Now that it's decided, then let's go. I hesitated. No. Can I say it again? This cave is way too wide. What's with this huge labyrinth? The path seems to branch until I don't even know where am I going. The number of branch paths? I gave up after I counted till 10. I encountered a considerable amount of monsters. The results of escaping from each encounter was me getting lost. Footprints. I have lost sight at such a thing long time ago. Ah, no way. A map is needed if anyone wants to conquer this labyrinth. Now's not the time to find the exit. My hunger is reaching its limit soon. Somebody gimme rice please. Chapter 5 Chapter of a New Home. I gave up escaping the dungeon. If I were to simply roam around here, all I can see is the end of my life. Whether it's monster or human, they are formidable enemies for me. Written as formidable enemy, it doesn't read as rival or friend. It's the one that really life-threatening dangerous. Fortunately, the monsters that appear in this small passage are not that fast enough. Otherwise, I couldn't have succeeded in escaping. My body of this spider is relatively quick. Probably my speed now is better than my previous life. I'm sorry. I put up a vanity. In fact, besides quickness, my physical abilities are also better than my previous life. In the first place, before I was reborn, I was an indoor type. Well, it is obvious that a wild spider has higher physical abilities. When I was a human, my only physical ability that I could be proud of is my thumb's movement trained by playing games. Well, let's put this topic away. In other words, that's how I can escape. But I can't keep on running forever. I would be dead if they launch a pincer attack, and it's not weird that there are monsters faster than me. In addition, I am seriously hungry now. You can't go to the war with an empty stomach. I might just die from starvation if this continues. Well, let's think about it. Q, what does a spider eat? A, insects. Awfoo. Isn't it obvious? So, this is what you call to satisfy one's belly. Furthermore, it's impossible to judge that my prey is limited to insects due to my size. Probably my preys are such as monsters and another one. Well, I don't want to think about it though. Humans. In the first place, my siblings prey on each other immediately after they are born. A parent like huge spider ate its child like nothing happened. My race probably thinks that all creatures except oneself are their preys. Or rather, in such a cave, there's no other option than that. I wonder what the deer-like monster that I met in the huge passage eat. Is it a carnivore pretending of being a herbivore? Well, there's no use even if I think about it. I'm worried about my meal now. Looks like there's no choice. I'm going to die from starvation if I don't do something now. If I don't want to eat it, monsters or humans, then I must eat any strange thing I can find here. Let's be prepared for it. Now that I'm prepared, it's time to decide what to eat. Of course, there's no food to be found nearby. Since there's no food nearby, I need to look for it now. How? To put this bluntly, the probability of me to win against a monster here is near to 0%. The passage in the maze I'm currently in is more narrow than the huge passage from before. And there's no monsters that gives out impossible to win aura like that huge spider and the dragon-like monster in the huge passage. The monsters here only had the size of a human. Still, it's impossible for me to win against it. Why? You say. It's because I never fought before. If it's a game, then it's my forte though. Because game and reality are different. 2D and 3D are different. I cannot be concerned about my appearance when it's the time for me to fight. Though I'm hungry now, but it haven't reached the limit yet. Then, I should secure food like how a spider does it. Speaking of a spider, its thread. The spider makes its nest with special viscous threads and catches its prey with it. I think that the topography in this cave is quite suitable. At any rate, I can spread my thread all over the place. Now that it's decided, it's time to make my new home. First, I produce a thread. Was it the bottom? The part where thread comes out? When I was thinking about it, the thread came out. Huh. I don't remember producing such a thing. Furthermore, it keeps on extending. Don't tell me that the thread came out from my bottom ever since I started moving? Somehow it's kinda embarrassing. Looks like I didn't notice all the time that I was releasing thread. What to do with this thread? Well, it might be useful, but for the being, let's cut the source and leave it for now. Now, let's start building my nest. I know that I can produce thread. I just need to spread my thread in accordance with the surface of the cave. I think that I'm rather skillful, but can I spread it well? There was a time I thought about it. I am satisfied when I see my completed web. A magnificent spider web was spread to block the passage in the cave. Is this a spider's instinct? My body moved by its own when I started making the web, and before I knew what was going on, the web has been completed. However, I only made the lower half of the web here. The upper half was made 1 meter away from the lower half. Why did I do such thing? I want to secure an escape road just in case. Now, I am at the T-shaped intersection. I spread my web on each passage, blocking each one of them. However, I can't escape if I block it up completely. I don't think there is, but there's a possibility that someone might break through the web that I spread. Therefore, I left a hole on purpose just to be able to escape in case of an emergency. Monsters without intelligence will get caught in the lower half web. Flying monsters will get caught in the upper half web. I managed to secure safety because I'm surrounded by webs in all 3 directions, and I had also prepared an escape route just in case something happens. The completion of the ideal shut in space. My magnificent home. Chapter 6. I didn't regret after munching it. It looks like I dozed off after I felt relieved making the new home. There's a vibration transmitted through the thread that was tied to my leg, and it woke me up. All of this felt like a dream when I woke up, but it was not a dream. Well, I already know that. I stretched my body after waking up. All my legs stretched briskly. It's kinda disgusting. I pull myself together and I turn towards the thread that's still vibrating. In my point of view, the thread was on the left passage, which spreads out to the lower half web. Looks like something is caught there. My first prey. I approach it carefully. Upon reaching the web, there's something with a flashy rainbow color familiar figure caught in the web. Frog. This is really shape of a frog. Though the size is almost the same as me and it shines in rainbow color, but it looks exactly like a frog. This is the first time that I agree with the result of appraisal skill. A frog. It's not a bad first prey, right? Though it's not eaten in Japan, but some areas seem to eat it normally. It seems that it tastes almost the same as chicken. To continue living, I might need to eat strange things in the future. So, isn't it a good start for now? If I don't eat it, I don't think I can eat anything after this. If there's a problem, then this frog, no matter how you look at it, it looks like it has poison in it. No, having such a malicious color, it's impossible that it's not poisonous. What should I do? When I was thinking leisurely, the frog launched a counterattack in desperation. The frog spits out a malicious color liquid towards me. This is bad. Without enough time to avoid it, I took the liquid on myself. Arghch. What's this? Pain. Is it poison? Is it really poison? The part where I took the liquid is very painful. A second spit is coming. Wait. Yeah. It hits again. Pain, this is not good. Retreat. I moved my entangled leg and somehow managed to evacuate it from the spitting range of the frog. It's very painful. Is this the feeling being poured with acid? My body didn't melt right. Though I feel uneasy, but there's no mirror so I can't confirm my body. Sheet. I was defeated. Even if it's caught in the trap, but it's still a monster. I should not have been careless. Despair turns cowards courageous. Even a frog won't let itself get eaten by a snake without resistance. Ah, the pain doesn't seem to be deadly. The venom had hit mainly at my left half of my body and my back. Some of the venom hit my left eye, causing me to lose a part of my view. My left eye has been destroyed, but only a part of my view is missing. Ah. Is it because that I am a spider that I have a lot of eyes? It's probably so. This is newly discovered. Now's not the time for it. The pain doesn't seem to fade. Skill proficiency reached. Acquired skill acid resistance LV1. What? Somehow the pain softens. Can I acquire a skill even without using any skill points? Huh. Then what's the point of using 100 points for that appraisal skill? I should not try to think deeply. Anyways, it seems that I acquired an acid resistant skill. The condition for the skill to be acquired was probably the attack from the frog. However, there seem to be other conditions because I didn't acquire the skill after receiving the attack. The most likely answer would probably be that I keep on receiving damage from the acid, right? Let's postpone all the thoughts first. The pain became better due to the acid resistance. When I think about it, my anger towards the frog starts to blow out. That frog, being just a food, sure have the nerves to attack me. Unforgivable. I have just decided it. I don't care if it has poison or not. When it comes to this, I will eat it no matter what happens. Now that it's decided, it's time to charge. As long as I don't lower my guard, that frog is just a pitiful prey caught up in the trap. The frog that spits out venom 3 times. Pooh, it's easy to avoid if I know it's coming. I dodge the approaching venom splendidly and charge at the frog. Receive it, my killer technique. Chomp. I bite it. Phew-aha. Don't think it's just a mere bite. I am a spider. There's poison in my fangs. When I was able to produce threads, I was able to understand such information naturally. Phew-fufu, be undermined by the poison and die. Splash. Hogyao. It spitted venom in that kind of state. Pain. It's still painful even if I have resistance. I pulled out my fangs unintentionally. Skill proficiency reached. Skill poison resistance LV1 has become poison resistance LV2. Ah, is that so? Now's not the time for it. This frog, to spit this filthy venom on me not twice but thrice. It's unforgivable. Though I don't have the intention to forgive that frog, but now that thing's done for it. Entrusting my anger, I attack it with a second bite. The frog writhes in agony. Phew-aha. Suffer more. I get carried away and I bite it over and over again. The frog that was struggling a while ago gradually became weaker and finally ran out of strength. Phew. At last, I defeated it. With this as my first prey, I feel uneasy about the future. But, I did it. I taste it at once. Munch. Zuria. It's bitter and painful. Is the poison the bitter one? Is the pain from the ingredient of the acid? Well, with resistance, I can endure it. But, it's not delicious. Skill proficiency reached. Skill acid resistance LV1 has become acid resistance LV2. Though the frog is not delicious, but the skill was delicious. Chapter 7 24 hours vacation throughout the year. The belly was filled. Is it because I'm too hungry, or is it because to recover from the damage that I received? The frog that has the size similar to me was already in my stomach. Typically impossible? Ha. Skills are like mysterious phenomenon in this world. In addition, I cannot say that it's necessarily impossible. Because my body is inflating like balloon. Phew. If it's a human's body, then it's the time to think about dieting. Well, in my previous life, I had a body that won't gain weight no matter how many I eat, so I had never tried dieting before. For the time being, I need to restore the part of the web that's broken. Ugh, it's hard to restore the web with my current belly. I somehow managed to restore it. Thank God that no monsters came when I was restoring the web. Now that I think about it, isn't the danger not limited to when I was restoring the net but also during the time I ate the frog? There's a possibility that other monsters will get tempted by the smell. Though I saw it in this narrow passage, but there was a 6-legged wolf in the huge passage. No matter how I looks at it, it surely has sharp sense of smell and it might be dangerous. Next time, I should eat after I return to my home. Among food, clothing and shelter, I have food and shelter. Clothes. You want me, a spider, to wear clothes? Ha. I don't feel that I need it. This cave is neither hot nor cold, and in the first place, my body is covered by short body hair. There's no meaning to wear clothes, and in the first place, there are no clothes to wear. I think I can make it with my threads, and it doesn't seem that I need to so much effort making it. I don't know whether I can wear it or not even if I make it. Doesn't that means that I have clothes too? Oh. Then that means that I would have obtained the necessities of life without working. No, I pretty much built my nest and I had a hard time defeating the frog. It might be exaggerating to say that I didn't work. As long as nothing bad happens, it can be said that the environment is in good order for living a dream-like lifestyle. If there's a problem, then there might be someone strong who can break through my web, or there's a possibility that I will starve due to no prey caught in the web. In the worst case, if someone strong were to break through my web, then I would escape immediately. Then, if only there are prey who would get caught in my web regularly. As long as it is fulfilled, then I can stay indoors throughout my life. Wonderful. Though I went to school normally, I lived my life mostly like a shut-in. Spending my time in school without talking to anyone, and when I return home, I did nothing besides surfing the internet or playing games. I pour hot water on the rice, then simply heat it up for 3 minutes with the microwave oven. Once in a while, I would go to the convenience store to buy bento. Both of my parents are working and they usually come back late. Even if they came back, we hardly meet each other and hardly had a conversation too. As for housework, everyone does only the minimum. To put things bluntly, it was like a total stranger living in the same house. Probably because of that, it was troublesome to communicate with another person. Well, rather than life, it's probably my own personality that I had since I was born. Therefore, I don't even have any friends and I hardly talk even in the game's chat. That's why my game character always had a silent image. My avatar is a rough and bald old man. A nice guy who talks with his back. Status and romance are temporary, so I raised only my physical attack and speed in the game. It's no big deal if I don't get hit, so I always evade every attack and use the hit and run strategy to defeat my enemy. I will die if I was hit though. Umu. Although it's trivial not being able to meet my parents or my classmates, it's a little lonely not being able to meet the bald old man again. In a free player group, only an influential person gamer who had a high social status fame can go up against a few paid gamer group, and it will be a regret if character gets destroyed halfway. I think I'm not a human already when I had more attachment with my game character rather than my parents. Nonetheless, it's a fact. Will my parents grieve over my death? It doesn't matter. I think even if our positions are reversed, I don't think there's a need to grieve over my child. I probably will be troubled in raising the money for the funeral. Telling things like this to a stranger might somehow anger them, but so what? Because I don't cause trouble to people, so it's none of your business on how I think. Trouble for my parents? Unfortunately, I have invested in stocks using my parents' name. Every month, I will bank in a sum of money into the bank account. You have to get a hang of it and also taking the risk, then only you can earn money with stocks. Therefore, I don't live depending on my parents. I never cause any troubles to anyone, so I don't want to hear it from someone who does it. Well, there's no use saying such a thing now. So I will declare it. Shut-in neat is the best. Chapter 8. A spider without intelligence is just a normal spider. ZZZ. Hooah. I slept well. I overslept. After all, it's nice to be able to sleep in peace. I wonder how long did I sleep? My sleeping hours in my previous life is around 4 hours. I fall flat due to anemia because of lack of sleep, and I slept throughout the whole day. I'm currently having that kind of feeling. However, the sense of a spider and human will eventually change, so I don't know how much time have passed. I want a clock. In the first place, how much time have passed since I was born? 2 or 3 days should have passed. In the dungeon, I won't know if it's morning or night now. I don't know anything about this world's calendar, and there's no guarantee that a day has 24 hours. 1 year is when the Earth complete traveling through its orbit around the Sun. 1 day is when the Earth complete a rotation. I think it's impossible that this world has the same size or same orbital period as the Earth. Well, even so, it is still a physical interpretation. It might be a cult-like parallel world or a different world that uses another law to move. If this world is something like that, then it might be right. though I don't have the way to confirm it. I might leave this dungeon someday, but now, let's enjoy this lazy life. Well, rather than rolling on the floor, I should think about the mysteries that were left out. First of all, how did I die? No, I think that I'm the only one that feels that I'm dead. I convince myself that I have reincarnated into a spider, but I don't have any memories about my death. If I am not mistaken, the final memory was I am in the Japanese language class. Our teacher, who we called Oka-chan, asked us to read the kanji aloud. I doze off and suddenly I felt a terrible pain. Then, I have no memories of what happened next. If I died that time, I wonder what is the source of the pain. The most likely possibility is that I died after the pain and I was reincarnated into a spider. Another possibility is that I never died after the pain and my soul is currently possessing a spider. Where my human body is currently in a vegetative state on the hospital bed. A more crazy possibility is where I am a total stranger with the memories of myself. The real me might still be in class normally. There's no limit when I start to think. Like the current me is not actually me. But how am I going to prove it? I also tried thinking that I am me, therefore it's me. Generally, the most likely possibility as being reincarnated is basically ignoring common sense already. For the time being, let's put a hold in this matter. I think, therefore I exists with my soul, I am me. I should assume it like that for now. Next is my present body. The spider's body is relatively convenient. I can move all my legs freely and I can move faster than the time I was a human. I can even climb walls and of course, I can even walk on the ceiling. If there's any inconveniences, then it will be that I don't have hands and when looking back, I need to turn my whole body backwards. It is considerably inconvenient that I don't have hands. For the time being, I use the front legs as substitutes for hands, but it can't move like a human's hand. Because the point of my leg is a sharp claw. With such dangerous thing, it's impossible that it can substitute a human finger. Though it's inconvenient, but I can somehow manage it for now. Here it is, the big problem. I can't see my back. This is quite dangerous. The spider's neck sticks to its body and there is no feature that can look back without turning the whole body. I don't have problems with my left and right because I have a lot of eyes making me able to see quite a wide range. But if I can look back, then that means that I am definitely weak against a surprise attack from the rear. I intend to use my threads for countermeasures. If it's impossible to grasp the sight of my back in this body structure, then I have no choice but to rely on other senses. Specifically, I will keep on releasing thread on the rear and this will help me to grasp what's there if there's movement. Well, it's not as easy as it is. I should practice this afterwards. If I keep staying in my home, I don't think that I would receive a surprise attack. But let's be well prepared before anything happens. Last but not least, skill. I still have some minor uncertainty, but this is the last major question. What's a skill? If it's a game, then skill is something like an ability or technique. What you can do increases with your skills. However, I don't know what kind of treatment the skill had in this world, but I should not try to think in this direction. More importantly, about the skill that I have and what skill I can acquire in the future. The skill I have now are appraisal LV1 acid resistance, LV2 poison resistance, LV2. The appraisal skill was acquired by using skill points. This skill point is also a mystery. Just by acquiring the appraisal skill took all my skill points and I don't know how to increase this point. If it's a game, then by leveling up, I should be able to gain some points. But I don't know whether the concept of leveling is in this world or not. Other than that, it may increase through time or when taking something. In the worst case, it's possible that it can't be increased. Like the skill point is something that you have since born and once you use it, the points will decrease where you won't be able to use it after the point reaches 0. If it's like that, then it's considerably shocking. I hope it's not like that. Chapter 9 Skill Verification. Let's put away the matter about skill point for now. To put things bluntly, there's no use worrying about whether it can be raised or not. Well, the condition to acquire the acid resistance skill is totally different from the appraisal skill. If its ability is just as its name, then I will have my defense against acid increased. I acquired this skill when I received the spit attack from that annoying frog. I think that the saliva of that frog have acid and poison attribute in it. I think that I acquired the skill after receiving damage from the acid. I can't decide whether it's the damage received or the saliva's attribute. I don't know which one served as the proficiency, whether its amount of the received damage or that I keep receiving the same attack in a row or time lapse. However, I acquired the resistance skill after receiving the related attribute attack. Though I need to go through a painful experience, if I can endure it, I should be able to acquire the resistance. For example, receiving a fire attack will make me acquire a fire resistance skill. It's better to have resistance skill if I am going to stay defensive. From now on, should I receive the first attack if it doesn't seem to be able to kill me? Amumu. No, I don't want to experience pain, and there's no guarantee that I can get the resistance skill. It's not necessary to purposely cross a dangerous bridge. It's not that I dislike pain. I acquired the acid resistance skill and my poison resistance skill has leveled up from the frog's attack. Apparently, from what the voice of heaven said, the poison resistance skill is a skill that I had from the beginning. Well, I am spider that uses poison, so it's not weird that I have resistance towards it. It's not strange, but what about the me who don't even know what skills I have? If the voice of heaven didn't say anything, I would not notice that I have the poison resistance skill. That means, is there any other skill that I have besides poison resistance? It's not strange if I have some. Is it poison attack? If only I can confirm it, but there's no such method. Just to try it out, I shout status inside my heart, but nothing happened. Can I see it if I raise my appraisal level? Appraisal level? Skill proficiency? Hey, doesn't that means that I can level it? That means I need to keep using the skill until it reaches a certain point, right? If appraisal is similar with the resistance type skills, won't the level go up if I keep on using it? I was convinced that it needs skill points to level up before because I acquired it by using skill points. But now, maybe this will go well. I started appraising everywhere at once. Information such as wall and floor started to flow into my head. Ugh, I'm feeling slightly sick now. I feel sick due to excess information. Skill proficiency reached. Skill appraisal LV1 has become appraisal LV2. It was worth feeling sick. Hooray! Though it only rose by one level, the feeling moving a huge step forward sure feels good. I tried appraising myself while feeling excited. Small lesser pterodactyl no name. Oh. Something like a species name appeared. As usual, the information is still little, but compared to LV1, it's better now. However, I am small and lesser. Somehow, it's like I am an inferior species. The tension whirled up by the appraisal fell a little. It's not like I had high expectations on it, but I didn't expect that I am an inferior species. Well, it's the same during my previous life, so there's no use thinking about it now. Leaving that aside, I should keep on appraising to raise its level now. It won't go up. After that, I keep on appraising the wall, but the level just won't go up. By the way, the appraisal result of the wall was Wall of Labyrinth. A doubtful result. Well, let's assume it as something trivial. Now, why my skill level won't rise? The highest possibility is that once a thing is appraised, the skill proficiency won't increase if you appraise it again. Certainly it will be easy to increase the skill proficiency if it's not like that. Just to be sure, I appraise my home in every nook and cranny. But the level did not rise. Looks like the skill proficiency is not enough. That means that I need to go out from my home in order to level my appraisal. Now that I think about it, I appraised a large crowd of monsters back then. The skill proficiency might have increased through it. However, the outside. Troublesome. Especially when I have a comfortable home like this. If I want to live safely, then I should just stay indoors. I must go outside if I want to increase my level. Though both has their own merits and demerits, the dangers of going outside is the biggest demerit. I have decided it. For now, I should enjoy my life here. There won't be any retributions even if I slack a little. Chapter 10 Level Up. There was a reaction on the thread when I was sleeping. Looks like my second prey is here. Just when I started to feel hungry. What a perfect timing. I skip towards the prey. The skip of the spider is surreal. Because I was attacked previously, I approach it carefully this time. Now, what kind prey did I catch? Elro frog. It was a frog. It's you again. Why? This dungeon should have other monsters than this. What kind of probability to get the same prey twice in a row? Ha. Ha. My pseudo-Kansai dialect came out unintentionally. Good grief, what to do? Splash. New. I received the frog spit attack when I did a stupid one-man comedy. The surprising fact that is only revealed on the second life. I am a fool. I was able to calm down due to the pain. This time the resistance skill never leveled up. Looks like the skill proficiency is not enough. Well, I don't mind. I wrapped the frog with my thread so that it can't put up a resistance. I bite it from above. This frog didn't die from a bite last time, probably because it has poison resistance. Still, it should be weakened if it's bitten. I quickly bring back the frog to my home. After that, I return back to restore the web. Alright, now it's perfect. When I returned to the frog was struggling to get out from my web. Looks like one bite is not enough. Chomp. I bite it. Last time, it was defeated after so many bites, but now that I think about it, there's no need to bite that much. I just need to keep on injecting poison without releasing my fangs. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Poison Fang LV1 has become Poison Fang LV2. Oh. A skill leveled up. A skill that I heard for the first time. The skill leveled up at the same time as the movement of the frog stopped. Things are happening so suddenly that it startles me. Looks like the power of my poison have increased because of my Poison Fang skill has leveled up. Sounds great. Experience points has reached a certain point. Individual, small lesser Terratect LV1 has become LV2. Somehow my body is strange. What's this? My skin is ripping off. Shedding. Is this shedding of skin? Every basic ability rose. Skill proficiency level up bonus acquired. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Poison Resistance LV2 has become Poison Resistance LV3. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Spider Thread LV3 has become Spider Thread LV4. Skill point gained. Wait a moment. Just now, I feel that I was skimming through an extremely important thing. Say it once more. One more please. Silence. Afu. Seriously. No. Let's recall it calmly. Didn't it mention level up? It did say it right. I didn't hear it because my skin suddenly started shedding. And, no, isn't it weird that I suddenly shed skin? Is it because of the level up that my body had to reform? For the time being, let's peel off the skin that's still sticking on me. Looks like my back is injured. This was the place where I received the frog's saliva. Though I can't see it, it was a severe injury. Come to think of it, the part of my destroyed view was restored. Oh. A complete recovery after level up. What a considerate thing to do. This is certainly a level up. Somehow my body feels light and in an excellent condition. The reason was because I defeated the frog and gain experience points, right? For the time being, let's think while eating the frog. Well, let's recall it one by one. First was it said something like my level went up. Then the shedding of skin starts immediately, and when I was confused, I had a feeling that the voice of heaven said various things smoothly. Recalling, skill, that's right, the skill leveled up, right? Furthermore, it's not only one, right? 2 skills leveled up at the same time. Why? That's right, it said something before the skills. Well, isn't it the skill proficiency level up bonus skill? That's it. That's right, it said so. In other words, there will be skill proficiency bonus point added to every time I level up. That's why 2 skills leveled up at the same time. The skill that leveled up were Poison Resistance and Spider Thread. So the thread was a skill too. I failed to hear its level. But, won't it be easy to level Spider Thread if I keep on producing it? Looks like I obtained useful information. To summarize it, level up recovers physical strength completely. I think my status rose. And the most important is a bonus point will be included in each skill proficiency. I don't know how many points have been collected, but seems that 2 skills leveled up, it should be quite an amount, right? That means that I might be able to strengthen my skill efficiently by leveling up. Even so, level up. Though there's skills here, I thought before about whether level up exists or not, but it really exists now. Though I tried not to think that way, but this world is really like a game. When it becomes like this, I was scared that I will live here with my game sense, but it's already too late. Well, I'm starting to feel a little excited. Looks like I can't go against a gamer's soul. Chapter 11. A white thin thread is attached to my 2 forelegs. It stretched when I pull the outer. It gradually returned to its original length when I relax my strength. It became like a rubber just as planned. What am I doing? Because I now know that spider thread is a skill, I started experimenting the spider thread in various ways while increasing my skill proficiency. Until now, I have only used my thread for making my nest and to restrain my prey. That's why I don't understand much about my threads even though the one producing it is myself. A. Leave my home and level up? Impossible. Though I got excited when I leveled up, but it's impossible if I were to think calmly. Well, think about it. Do you think a woman who is good in games can win a real fight? Impossible. Even if my body is a monster, there's no meaning if the person moving it is frowning. As for moving a body in real and in game, it's like heaven and earth. In game, the character won't get tired, but in real, you get tired for how much you move. Besides, I only went to school in my previous life and I was just a weak child lacking of physical strength. I think it would be difficult to fight against a genuine monster who live with its wild instinct. Though it's not like I can't do it, but failing equals dead. I want to avoid such a risky choice. If that's the case, then waiting for a pitiful prey to get caught in the net has a higher winning rate. I think this is much more efficient and safer rather than wandering around in the dungeon aimlessly. Someday, I think that I will leave my home, but that would only happen after I have leveled up more until I reached a certain point. Though I used such an absurd character in the online game, in other RPGs, leveling at early gameplay is my style of playing. Keep on leveling and defeating a boss while humming. Especially, now that my life is on stake, I should act carefully until I have the confidence to win against other monsters. As part of level raising now, I am trying to raise my spider thread skill proficiency. Now that I think about it, this spider thread is like my lifeline. I shivered while thinking that I would still wander around in the dungeon if I never make my home. In that case, probably I would be dead by now, isn't it? It's impossible to take a rest at ease, and it's also impossible to catch a prey. It's all thanks to the spider thread that I am living comfortably now. When thinking that, raising the level of my spider thread is the top priority for now. I don't know what's going to change if its level increased, but it definitely won't be a loss. Well, I thought I should find out the property of my thread while I am on it, so I verify it in various ways. I began producing thread and verify the adjustment of thickness, adhesion, strength, and elasticity. The adjustment of thickness was considerably easy. When I intend to produce thin thread, a fairly thin thread was produced. Though it's impossible to make it invisible, it was possible to make it as thin as hair. In this dark dungeon, it should be hard to see even this thread. However, the result from the experiment on strength that I found out was the more thin the thread, the more easy the thread to break. Well, this alone can't be helped. If I think normally, it is obvious that it becomes weaker. If the level rises, it might increase its strength. Let's put some expectations on it. On the contrary, the strength rises when I make it thicker. The thickest string that I can produce now is about 2 centimeters in diameter. Like a normal rope. Well, that's the maximum thickness I can produce right now, but I can make it more thicker if I tie the threads in a bundle. But it takes a while. I regret that I should not have done the experiment of adhesion. It's true that everyone thought that spiders' threads are adhesive, but to be honest, there's also non-adhesive threads. The reason why the spider itself won't get caught in its own web is because it knows how to use it properly. I understood it after making my nest with instinct. Well, to know more about it, I experimented on it and I end up getting entangled by my own threads. To know about the proper use of both type of threads, it was necessary to get entangled by my own threads. I am an idiot because I got caught by my own threads. I got impatient. Actually, I didn't know that the adhesive power can be reduced even after the thread was released, and I almost died getting caught by my own trap. The adhesive power can be changed to some extent if the thread is still connected to my bottom. After that, I tried to change the adhesive power of the thread that have been separated from my bottom, and the result was I can change a little only. I pull myself together and confirm the strength. It's weak if it's thin, where if it's thick then it's stronger. But I don't know until what extent of power it can endure. What I mean, when I make its strength to maximum, I can't cut it no matter how much power I use. And the scary thing was that I can't even cut it with my fangs. If something were to be tangled by this thread, then it should not be able to escape. Well, there may be monsters far stronger than me that can tear my thread off. So overconfidence is a taboo. And lastly was the result of the elasticity experiment. Currently, I had a string getting stretch on. This rubber thread seems to be pretty useful. It seems that I can make a simple sling by tying it with a stone. In addition, it seems that it's useful in various ways. I am very satisfied with the experimental results. But even I used the thread that much, its level didn't increase. In addition, there's a problem that can't be ignored has occurred. The more thread I produce, the more energy I use. In other words, I am very hungry now despite not much time has passed since I ate the frog. It's not like I hate this consumption rate, but if I want to use a lot of threads next time, I better fill my stomach first before doing so because it seems dangerous. Chapter 12 A Moving Reunion LOL. Ah, I'm hungry. But if there's no prey caught in my web, then eating is impossible. It's inevitable, so I will sleep for now. I need to sleep to preserve my stamina. It's not that I am lazy. Just when I thought I can sleep to my heart's content, I end up waking up forcibly. This is because there is a vibration transmitted through my threads. Did a prey got caught? My joy turned into impatience immediately after knowing that. I know the state of my web connected by my threads very clearly. It was a different feeling from before. Something is touching the web. It's certain. It's not caught in the web. After all, it's moving on the web. Impossible. Though I thought before that there might be someone who can break through the web, but it didn't expect that someone can move calmly on the web. I became confused due to the unexpected situation, and it was too late to start moving. It has already climbed over the web and is invading my home. This is bad. Though I have decided that when there's someone who can break through the web, I would escape without hesitation, but I'm confronting it now. I was careless. With my brain not functioning well just after waking up, I'm confused. This is the first time I felt the danger of my life since I stay in my home. Small lesser pterodactyl. The one that appeared was the same spider as me. Because of being the same species, it broke through my web without difficulty. Hello, brother. Note, she uses English here. I think this guy is probably my sibling. But I don't know whether it is an older brother or an older sister or a younger brother or a younger sister. A moving reunion with my lifelong separated sibling. However, there's danger to my life. Wait. Calm down. It's not decided yet whether this guy is an enemy or not. Even if they were preying on each other after they're born, it might overlook me because of our relationship as siblings. Kichi. Sha. Ah. On. It's an enemy. But it's only threatening me and haven't attacked me yet. Looks like it's looking around here. What should I do? Running away doesn't seem to be the best plan. The same species as me. That means that it has the same physical abilities like me. So far, I managed to get to this point with my running speed, but there's no guarantee that I can run away from someone who has the same speed as me. In addition, I'm worried about my safety, whether I can run away from it. Because the outside is overflowed with the monster's threat. In my current hunger state, escaping at full speed, consuming all my stamina, I will be insecure if I am to go outside. Building a new home will wear me out, and above all, it is necessary to look for a good location. In an exhausted condition, wandering around looking for such location is a suicidal action. It's terrifying when I think about it. Then, exactly what should I do? Of course, all that's left is to defeat this guy. Can I do it? I have a hunch that I'm at a slight disadvantage. Because of being the same species, there should not be so much of a difference in physical abilities. However, that is, if our level are the same. If this guy is born at the same time as me, then there should be no much difference in our level. Perhaps the same level or maybe one level higher. Because this guy has traveled all the way from the outside and reached here. I should think that its level is higher than me. The worst possibility is that this guy was born before me and it's an old-timer. In that case, its level should be much more higher than me. It has reached a level where it can move boldly in the place I'm heading for in the future. There's no chance to win. Either way, it's a life or death fight. If that's the case, then I won't think about my opponent's strength anymore. I will do my best. If it's still useless, then it's just the end of this spider's short life. Though I don't want to die, this world has reincarnation in it, so it's not like I can abandon the concept of the world after death. Let's resolve myself. I concentrate for the fight. I clear my thoughts. I fix my eyes only on the enemy. The enemy and me seem to understand that both of us are ready to fight, so I stand ready. The back slightly inclined. It's as if the start of an approach run. The enemy jumped vigorously just as I predicted it. It jumped. I glanced my enemy with pity who is currently in the air brandishing its claw. I take a step to the back while releasing threads towards the enemy in the air. This guy took the wrong choice. It chose to jump up into the air and attack with its claw rather than using our greatest weapon, poison fangs. The claw attack is not bad either. Though it's not bad, you should use it for restraining only. It's not suitable to use it as the main weapon. Our weapon are the thread and poison fangs. I won't be defeated by this guy who did not understand it. My brother who got caught easily in the air. It got entangled by the threads and falls to the ground. I rush over immediately. Chomp. I bite into its body with my poison fangs mercilessly. As the same as me, this guy should have poison resistance. But such a thing doesn't matter. When it is restricted by the threads, the outcome of the fight is already decided. What's left is I just need to inject more poison to surpass the poison resistance. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Poison Fang LV2 has become Poison Fang LV3. The Poison Fang skill leveled up probably due to the fact that I continued injecting a large amount of poison into the spider. Around the same time, my brother stopped moving. I won't forget you, brother. As the fool who invaded my home for the first time. Chapter 13 I received a disgraceful title. I succeeded in getting through my brother's attack easily. No. I was saved because this guy was stupid. Practically, it would be dangerous if it's a serious fight. I managed to grasp my characteristic to some extent. Given that I can't confirm my status like a game, I think I can judge my ability objectively. Considering from there, my greatest weapon are my threads and poison fangs. Restrain it with my threads and finish it off with my poison fangs. This is my invincible winning combo. On the contrary, my defeat is decided when the combo is proven useless. That's all for me. Rather than that, for us, spiders, threads and poison fangs are important weapons. This stupid assailant did not understand it at all. I, who was the same species as my opponent, predicted the results of the fight that the one who restrain its opponent first will win. Therefore, what's left was how to restrain the opponent with the threads because this strategy is the core of the fight and yet the result is this mess. Throwing itself without any measures. Are you an idiot? Are you stupid? Do you really want to die? Ah, it's already dead. Rather, how did such a fool manage to survive so far? I'm starting to admire that fool now. The monsters outside of my home, to be frank, I don't think I can win against those monsters. How did that guy survive so far? Well, there's no help thinking about it and that guy is dead already. You should know that what kind of end this dead guy will have in my territory, right? I'm very hungry. Though it has a disgusting appearance, but I have already thrown away my timid mind when I ate the first frog. Brothers. So what? Originally, it's a species that preys on each other. Therefore, it adokamasu. Pho. Thank you for the delicious meal. Though it looks like that, it was more delicious than the frog. After all, is it that? Is it because that the frog has both poison and acid? Well, it was better than the frog even though it's unchanged that this was not delicious because it has poison. When I was relaxing, I heard a machine-like voice which was the voice of heaven. Conditions met. Tidal Gross Feeder was acquired. By the effects of the Tidal Gross Feeder, skill Poison Resistance LV1 Corrosion Resistance LV1 was acquired. Poison Resistance LV1 has unified into Poison Resistance LV3. Conditions met. Tidal Blood Relative Eater was acquired. By the effects of the Tidal Blood Relative Eater, skill Taboo LV1 Heresy Magic LV1 was acquired. What? What's this? Every time I heard the voice of heaven, I would always be surprised, but this time, rather than surprised, I was dumbfounded. What's a title? Why don't I calm down for now? When it comes to this, I produce threads to calm down. I produce threads properly and roll it around and making a white fur ball. Pho, I calm down a little. Well, title. Is this that? The one that I get after achieving a special condition? Though it might be so, but the ones that I acquired was none other than some disgraceful and grotesque title. The Tidal Gross Feeder is just an insult rather than a title. Blood Relative Eater with those words, it's definitely no good. Other people can't see this, right? If the level of appraisal is high, it's likely to be seen. If it were to be seen, then it's definitely no good. Well, I'm a monster and I would be dead before my title was seen if I was seen by a human. But if I ignore the words, isn't it the title's effects are good? Because I acquired 4 skill from it. Because I have the poison resistance from the start and judging form the words of the voice of heaven, did it get added into my skill proficiency? It's inconvenient that I'm not able to see detailed information at such time. I want my appraisal level to increase quickly. Leaving that aside, I'm interested with the remaining 3 skills. Well, I can somehow understand corrosion resistance. The skill proficiency might rise if I eat rotten things. I don't think I would willingly eat it. The problem is the remaining 2 skills. Though taboo skill seems to be dangerous, but I don't know its effects at all. To be frank, I can't even imagine it. Explanation please. There's no use to it if I don't know what its effect is. Heresy magic is the same. I don't know how to use it. What? Will it activate if I recite an incantation? Even if I say that, I can't talk because I'm a spider. I can only cry kichi, or perhaps I should say grinding my teeth. No, even if I can talk, I don't even know the incantation. It doesn't change that it's not usable. I try to recite heresy magic is my heart for trial. Nothing happens. It's useless. I thought that I got the title and skill was a godsend, but the only substantial one was corrosion resistance. No, well, I think that the poison resistance was also a gain. When thinking so, the only useful title was gross feeder, right? Blood relative eater does not serve any purpose. If the condition to acquire the title blood relative eater is eating blood relatives, then there should be a lot of my brothers who have the same title. However, only the fool that was eaten by me a while ago reached here. That means, there's no much change in battle abilities even if I acquired the title. It's meaningless if it's useless. I see. So there are some reasons for simple conditions. When the conditions of the title is easy, then its effect is low. However, knowing that something like title exists is big. If I can collect titles, then maybe I can collect more skills efficiently. I should try out various things to check whether I can acquire more titles or not. Chapter 14 Chapter of Reconstruction. A little time passed after the attack from my brother. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Spider Thread LV5 has become Spider Thread LV6. I played with my threads and its level increase when I was using it for training. No, I had a hard time leveling it. Thanks to that, it's pure white in my home now. My home have changed a lot compared with the original look. First, the amount of webs has increased. Before this, the webs were placed in sets at the top and bottom in a remote place from the T-shaped intersection. But now, the web spreads till the branch road in the passage. I have spread many sets of nets in the passage. With only a set of web, it would only allow invasion and breakthrough like what happened before. It should take some time to break through with all these webs. With this, my home security has increased. I decorated the walls because the skill didn't leveled up. I spread my threads on the wall and I painted it white. Of course it's not a mere decoration. This wallpaper thread are linked to the webs. I adjusted it so that when a prey got caught, the threads will separate from the wall and wrap the prey. This is my boastful trap that I completed after various trial and error. When I started sticking my wallpaper threads, my skill level went up by 1. After I finished sticking the wallpaper threads, I set up some extra thin threads as it was invisible in my home. I never made this thread adhesive and it snaps immediately after touching it. It will snap eventually by the air even if I leave it, then it will get absorbed by the wallpaper threads. I think that the reason why I was able to produce such a thin thread is that my skill level became 5. The effect of this thread is to search for enemies. The threads are connected to me and if there's something that touched the thread, I would be able to know what it is. Because I said that it's inconvenient that I can't look back before, so I thought that I should develop an enemy searching thread. I decided to set it up in my home because it was not necessary to mind the rear while I'm in my home. Someday, I hope that it can be operated remotely because I want to search outside of my home. Well, after doing so much things as expected, I didn't have anything to do so I save up some threads idly and finally, my skill reached level 6. Thanks to that, I leave the fur balls as it is due to the fine quality like silk thread which had an overflowing luxury. This seems to be able to sell for a good amount of money to a human. Well, it's not like I know anything about humans' textile industry. By the way, if I released such amount of threads, it's obvious that I am hungry. Therefore, I have ate all the pitiful prey that was caught in the web. It seems that the monsters here has poison in their body. It doesn't die easily even with my poison fangs. Well, my victory was already decided by the time when my prey is restrained in the web. Still, I think that it's impossible to fight without threads. At any rate, even with my poison fangs, it won't be effective unless I need to keep on biting my prey. For such a long time, it would be ruined by a counterattack if I don't restrain it with my threads. Thanks to that, my poison fang has increased to level 4 and poison resistance has increased to level 5. I don't know whether it's because of poison resistance level rose, but the bitter taste of monsters with poison has become a habit. As for the monsters whom I defeated so far were 3 Elro Randanal, 1 Elro Pekatot, 1 Elro Basilisk and 1 Finjoth. All of them were caught by the web and I restrained it with threads then killed it with my poison fangs. Elro Randanal was a monster that looks like a small dinosaur. I got flustered because 3 of them came over at once. Well, I didn't have a hard time because all 3 of them were caught in the web. Elro Pekatot was a strange monster with the arms of a monkey and the body of a penguin fused with a pelican. Finjoth was a bee-like monster with a huge body that can fill up this passage that was around 3 meters. Because of that, it's much more easier to get caught in the web. The most dangerous was Elro Basilisk. It was a huge lizard-like monster and just as its name, it can use petrifaction attack. Probably the same as the fairy tale, it was the devil's eye of petrifaction that petrified one of my foreleg. Because of how slow the petrifaction progression speed was, I somehow managed to defeat it. But it was a terrifying enemy. After that, until I level up and shed my skin, I have to spend my time with my petrified foreleg. Though it might be a gain because I was able to acquire the petrifaction resistance skill, but it was much more dangerous than the first frog. I just said it smoothly but I leveled up. Moreover, it's 3 level. I'm level 5 now. The skills that I know that I have were Poison Fang LV4, Spider Thread LV6, Appraisal LV2, Taboo LV1, Heresy Magic LV1, Poison Resistance LV5, Acid Resistance LV2, Corrosion Resistance LV1 and Petrifaction Resistance LV1. Though my level went up by 3, the skill did not rise to that extent. Appraisal doesn't level at all since LV2. It seems that the skill proficiency bonus from level up is little. And it seems that I missed it during my first level up that skill point increases by leveling up. However, the amount is quite little. I got excited when I heard the voice of heaven said that I obtained skill points, but after that, I tried to acquire some skills but it's no good. In such a time, I tried to remind about all the possible skills like item box or automatic regeneration, but there was no skills that can be acquired. In the first place, the voice of heaven won't give me a response even if the skill exists or not. Insufficient skill points. That was the only answer that came back. Looks like the method to become matchless by acquiring every skill is impossible. It seems that the skill limitation is more severe than I thought. Chapter 15 The time I lose my paradise. Today also I spend my day lazily. My home is. The meals come over from there without permission and I can sleep soundly in a dangerous dungeon because the countermeasures has been secured. Because I spread some soft threads on the firm floor, it feels like sleeping on a bed. It has become a daily routine that I keep producing threads while relaxing. This is happiness. Thinking about my previous life that I spent my daily life restlessly. I did not have such awareness, now that I think about it. What do you think of 4 hours sleep? My life cycle in my previous life was wake up in the morning and go to the school. Once school is over, I go back home and did nothing but playing games. Once my drowsiness reached its limit, then only I sleep. It was such a life. Though it's fun playing games, but thinking back now, there was an obligation to play it. Being a free player while also being one of the top player in the online game, trying to live up to the expectations with pride, I inadvertently think that exceeded my capacity. Such me, something like living up to everyone's expectations, it still feels good if it's a joke. Self-conceit. I don't mind the eyes of another person. Though I thought so, but looks like I still have such human sense even though I noticed it after living this life. Therefore, the real meaning is when I'm living a life where I don't have anything to do, there's a feeling of freedom. At first, I felt uneasy when think that I can't bear with all the free time I have, but it looks like it was just a needless anxiety. Though I am surely free because there's neither internet nor game in such environment, but it's not that unbearable. Looks like my standard of happiness is somewhat lower than normal people. To put things bluntly, it's already a happiness to be able to live. I am already happy with the present life that have food and living secured. I'm happy till I think that I intend to spend my life in here. Though I don't know how long a spider can live. But I think that I will have to leave my home someday. Unexpected situation. Changes in environment. The appearance of a powerful enemy who can break through my web. I don't know when it is, but I think that time will come. There's nothing that doesn't change. Therefore, I should prepare when the time comes. Though I have decided it, it's still too early. I'm not prepared yet. In front of my panicking view was one of my home's entrance blaze up. I was falling asleep and suddenly, flames started to rose. The home which I put great efforts to build it is currently swallowed up by a sea of flames without being able to resist. My spider thread which I boasted for its invincibility is unexpectedly weak against fire. However, why are there suddenly flames in my home? I understood the answer immediately. It's a human. There was a man in the depths of the fire. A torch is in his hand. He must have burnt my home using the fire from the torch. This is bad. Though it's hard to see clearly through the fire, but I can see the figure of several humans behind the man. I don't think they set the fire up accidentally. It's obviously an action that they are cautious of the spider web. Then, they must be aware that in the depths of the web, there's a spider which is me. If I keep on staying here, I only have two choices: whether I would die wounded by the fire or I would die being cornered by humans. Fortunately, the flames have not reached my place yet, and if I escape on the opposite side, the humans should not be able to catch up with me. I look at my home one more time. I spent most of my time here after I reincarnated. I put great efforts to build it up. Having done various discoveries in this place, and each time after discovering something, I would be swinging from joy to sorrow. So far, this was also the place that have protected me all the time. I might love this place more than my room in my previous life. I spent such a long time in this place. I began to run. With the flames at the opposite direction. I go through the complicated spider web skillfully. The last web. I can never return to this place once I pass through there. There's no more security once I pass through there. Still, I pass through the last web without hesitation. Though I had the urge to look back, I didn't do so. Now, I need to escape as far as possible. Thus, I have been chased out of my home. Though it's a sequel, but the adventurers who set my home on fire seemed to discover my large amount of thread balls left in the center afterwards. Fortunately, the flames did not reach there and they collect it. It is said that the clothes made with the threads were sold for a large amount of money. It seemed that the king of some country even purchased it, and it became a topic for a certain period of time. I only know the fact after a very long time. Chapter 16: Leaving the Nest. Trudging. My steps are heavy. The shock was bigger than I thought because I ran at full speed. I lost my dear home. Even if I became a spider, my heart will not falter even if I ate strange things. The shock was unexpectedly huge when the time comes, even though I intended to be prepared when there's a situation where I need to leave my home someday. I thought that would be a little delay, but the damage was huge. I wanted to keep my home at least until I reached level 10. You gap. Yosh, I end my hesitation. Let's have a change of feeling. For the time being, let's decide what to do in the future. There are several choices. 1. Build a new home in another place. 2. Wander around the dungeon. 3. Head towards the dungeon's exit. This is all I can think of now. I want to pick choice no. 1 when I thought about the security. But, I intend to reject choice no. 1. My home is wonderful. The necessities of life are satisfied and there's almost no need to work. It can be said as that it was an ideal paradise. But, I would be ruined steadily if I keep slacking in such environment. Both physically and mentally. I will become a good-for-nothing spider if I keep on hunting safely in my home, and I won't be able to overcome unexpected situation. I realized it after the human burned my home. As it stands now, if someone were to break through my spider web, I would only have the choice to escape. It's no use if it's like that. It would be endless if I'm depressed whenever I run away like this time. Above all, there's something smoldering within me because my home was destroyed. It seemed that I'm unable to allow myself to continue escaping. Yes, I'm really frustrated. My home was destroyed easily, I'm there yet I can't do anything except thinking that escaping is the most obvious choice. Yes, the one who didn't hesitate to think of escaping was none other than me. But, how was it after escaping? The feeling of frustration and how pathetic I am that can tear my body. Escape once again. Like I can endure such a thing. What sets me seething was my home was not just a convenient place but was a place that was important to me. If I were to say it hackneyed, It was the place where I truly belong. In my previous life, I don't belong anywhere. My family relations have collapsed and I didn't grow accustomed to school. Even in the game, it's just a fiction world. There's no place where I belong. Well, I took a defiant attitude that if I don't belong anywhere, my home, the place built only for me, the place where I belong. A place only for me without hesitating to anyone. It was taken away. It was plundered by an existence which was myself. I can never be proud of if I hand it over here. Is it happy just being able to live? Ah, I was a peace-loving idiot Japanese. Living without pride is just like being dead. I understood it from that matter before. My home was lost. My pride was hurt. I must become stronger so that my pride won't be stained. Hence, I can't shut myself in a new home and hunt safely. I must gain experience through combats. If that's the case, then it's either wandering in the dungeon aimlessly or head towards the exit. However, both choices look the same. After all, I don't know where's the exit. In the end, the only choice left is wandering aimlessly. In the first place, I hardly know about this dungeon. I don't know the name of this dungeon even though I was born and raised in this dungeon. I don't know how large is this dungeon. What's the difficulty in this dungeon, and I even don't know about the dungeon's topography. There are many things I don't know. I feel that I have worried about things I don't know before this. Ah. That's right. The time when I acquired the appraisal skill. That's right. I have appraisal. It can't level up anymore when I am in my home, but now that I am outside of my home, its level can be increased. If its level rises, it might be useful, so I should keep on appraising from now on. Thus, I start appraising. Wall of labyrinth, floor of labyrinth, ceiling of labyrinth. It's not useful as usual. Ah, the skill proficiency should be increasing because the appraisal results displayed one by one whenever I walk. Ugh, I'm starting to feel sick because of the information flowing in my head. I need to bear it a little until I get used to it. When I appraised the large crowd of monsters for the first time, I didn't feel sick that time. At that time, rather than feeling sick, I think I was dumbfounded by it. At any rate, I should wander in the dungeon while appraising. Chapter 17. I use a dirty trick fair and square head-on. Skill proficiency reached. Skill appraisal LV2 has become appraisal LV3. The skill level went up easily. Not much time had passed since I started appraising. So it increases this easily if I don't shut myself indoors. I'm having a complicated feeling. Well, there's nothing better than the level increasing. Well, what will it show on level 3? I appraise myself at once. Small lesser Terratect LV5 no. Name. There's level in it. Why? Ha. Well, it did add a new information. But when will this skill be useful? Mo. However, I wonder how strong is the small lesser Terratect, my species in this dungeon. Something unexpected occurred when I thought of such a thing. Small lesser Terratect hatchling of the deteriorating Terratect species. Wah. What? Is this the result of my appraisal after appraising my species name? Double appraisal? Oh. Didn't I just discover an important trick? That means, I have to try appraise things again. Terratect is spider-type species of monsters. It was possible. Isn't this amazing? If I happen to appraise something and an unknown word comes out, I can also appraise the unknown word. The explanation is still short and it doesn't give much information yet, but won't it be incredible if I level it up? I might be able to gain various information from one appraisal. Fooi. Appraisal-san, I am sorry to say that you are useless. From here on, I will do my best to level my skill up. Well, it's good that I keep on appraising, but by now about 2 problems appeared. That is, I'm hungry and sleepy. That's what it is. After escaped at full speed from the surprise attack at my home, I wander in the dungeon, so it's obvious that I will get hungry and sleepy. Though I can still endure with it, but sooner or later, I would need to eat and sleep. The existence of other monsters became the problem of the two. To eat, I need to find a monster and defeat it. On the contrary, I need to prevent being found by a monster when sleeping. I'm in a dilemma, unable to satisfy both. Mo. Well, there's actually a plan to solve both. I should make a simple home to sleep in it. With this, I can sleep in peace and I can secure meals if a monster get caught in the trap. Killing 2 birds with a stone. But, since I have decided that I should fight a while ago, I want to kill my prey by my own hands as much as possible. When I sleep, I would build a simple home because it's inevitable. But I would like to fight at least once after waking up. The simple home is not a place for hunting, but it's a place to secure a place to sleep. Well, I would eat without reservation if there's a monster caught in the trap. For the time being, I will continue to wander around looking for monsters. It's there. Elro Frog LV3. Ahead of the passage where I hide myself, there was a figure of the fated frog. That guy turns his back towards my direction. It has not noticed my existence yet. Should I launch a surprise attack? It noticed me when I thought about it. TCH. Kishima. First of all, I threaten it. P. Spitting sound. Oh, it's no fair suddenly spitting your saliva in a flash. I barely dodge it. P. Don't spit consecutively. Afu. Like I can avoid that many at once. Pain. Though it's not that pain compared to the first time because of the resistance, but it still doesn't change that I'm feeling pain. Or rather I didn't know that you are that energetic if I never restrain you with my threads. P. Wait. Paijia. I fail to avoid one again. This is bad. If this continues, I would get defeated one-sidedly. Now that it's come to this, there's only suicide attack. P. Like I will receive the same attack after many times. After being attacked that much, I know that you can only spit 3 times. Don't underestimate the eyes of the gamer called Idaten and my avoiding technique. I avoid the saliva. I swing down my claw towards the frog. As expected, it was avoided and it jumped and used its tongue. Bitin'. Pain. I was hit by the tongue as if I'm being smashed by it. Furthermore, the tongue had acid on it, and it's not just the pain from being nailed but also the pain of acid on my body. Ooh. This is a serious injury. If there's a stamina gauge, it would be in the dangerous zone. If I receive another blow, I might die from it. But that won't happen. The outcome has already been decided. Because I have set up my threads around the place where the frog jumped. The trick is simple. I just release my thread on the ground while avoiding the spit attack. As for me, it looks like I tend to release threads unconsciously on the ground when I'm moving. I used it for this time. I increased the adhesiveness of the threads that I had released unconsciously. After that, I just have to guide the frog to that place. I adjusted the angle and the speed of my claw attack to make it jump to that place. But I didn't expect it to counterattack in the air. The frog which got caught by the thread after landing. I wind an additional thread without mercy on it. After that, it's obvious what I'm going to do. Chomp. My first battle ended up with a narrow victory. Chapter 18 Complete recovery after staying at the inn is only in game. Skill proficiency reached. Skill acid resistance LV2 has become acid resistance LV3. A skill level went up. With this, the next time I fight against the frog should be a little easier. Actually, the possibility of the damage might have exceeded the maximum value if I don't have resistance against it. It was dangerous. My body is already worn out. 2 spit attacks and an attack with its tongue. With that attacks only, I am on the verge of death. Especially, the tongue attack was dangerous. My body dented after receiving the direct hit and a few of my legs broke by the shock. I didn't lowered my guard. I expected that the winning rate to be low if I fight head-on without using spider webs against other monsters. Still, somewhere in my heart, thought that I can somehow manage it. Honestly, it's unexpectedly tedious. Anyway, I don't think I can move properly with this injury. For now, I should make a simple home here and devote myself to heal the injury. I leave the dead frog there and started to spread my threads. An intense pain assaulted my body whenever I move. Skill proficiency reached. Acquired skill pain resistance LV1. Oh. Is it a new skill? Somehow I can feel the pain is relieving. Still, it's very painful. However, this skill seems to quite useful. I am grateful that the skill level will rise naturally if I continue to survive after this. Finally, the simple home is completed. With this, I can finally rest. If a monster attacks me now, I would definitely die. For the time being, let's eat the prey that I had a hard time killing it. My first ended up with a narrow victory. The battle with my brother. Such a thing can't even be called as a battle. Not count it. I realized it once again after experiencing my first battle. I am weak. I think that the whole small lesser pterodactyl species including me are weak. Well, at any rate, it's a deteriorating species. The offensive power is poor and the defensive power is fragile. Though only the speed was able to reach a certain level, but it can't avoid the barrage of spit attacks from the frog. My basic ability value is even inferior to a lower level frog. The reason I was able to defeat a monster without having a hard time was because of the spiderweb made by my threads. This is the outcome if I fight head on. I understand well that how I relied on my home. At any rate, this has become clear to me. It's impossible for me to initiate a battle from the front. If I were to fight head on, it can be said that everything is decided by how I were to restrain my opponent with threats. Alternatively, there's a measure where I can bite my opponent with my poison fangs, but with this poor status, I would be killed before I can bite. I can confuse my opponent with my speed and strike when there's an opportunity, or I can set up a trap like this time and restrain it with my threats. This seems to be my basic strategy. Or I can set up a trap in advance and lead it there. When thinking so, my compatibility with the frog might be bad. It's a type where it keeps on sniping from long distance one-sidedly. Because it won't move so much, it won't jump into the trap. It's a pain that I don't have any long distance attack. Though I can shoot threads, but the range is short, and above all, my opponent might be cautious to my threats. I want to keep this method as long as possible. I need to think about the countermeasures for the long distance attacks as soon as possible. A lot of problems. I now know my weakness, or rather I'm full of weakness. However, I can't give in just because of this. I only need to build a new home if I only need to live on. But then, it's no good. Since I decided to live my life proudly, I cannot cling to escaping here. But just let me rest for now. This injury, I wonder how long does it need to reach complete recovery? Or rather, can it even be cured? I am envious of the character in game that can fully recover after sleeping overnight. Anyway, let's sleep. Today was a tiring day. I need to sleep in order to recover. Thus, good night. ZZZ. I slept well. Rather than sleeping, it feels like I fainted. Ugh, there's still pain in my body. Well, it's impossible to recover from such injury in one night. Fuah. Adadada. When I tried to stretch my body, an intense pain ran through my bent legs. Especially my two right middle legs were the most painful. Won't it get torn off if I'm careless? I became uneasy, wondering whether this injury will recover or not. Chanchin. There's a vibration from the thread. A monster got caught by the web of my simple home. Usually I would wake up as soon as there's a vibration from my threads, but it looks like I slept soundly till I didn't notice it. It's all because of the damage on my body was too huge. Elro Basilisk LV4. It's the petrifaction lizard. Another troublesome guy got caught again. What should I do? Because this guy has the devil's eye of petrifaction, it can attack if our eyes met. In addition to this injury, isn't it bad if I receive a petrifaction attack? But letting go of the monster is just. Kyoro. Our eyes met. Eng. My leg is starting to petrify. No. When it comes to this, it can't be helped already. Chomp. The petrifaction speed is considerably slow due to my petrifaction resistance. But it's bad to be unable to use my unbroken foreleg. If things don't go well, it might be difficult to move. Please die while my leg is still functioning. Kuta. Wondering whether my prayer reached or not, the basilisk died before my leg fully turns into stone. Though I can still walk, but this is hard. Experience points has reached a certain degree. Individual, small lesser pterodactyl LV5 has become LV6. Oh. Godly timing. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency acquired. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Poison Fang LV4 has become Poison Fang LV5. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Petrifaction Resistance LV1 has become Petrifaction Resistance LV2. Skill point gained. Okay. I am happy that 2 skills leveled up. But there's something much better than it. I can remove my skin from my body. It's shedding of skin. One of the benefits of level up, complete recovery by shedding skin. I was worried whether my dented body can be cured or not, but it looks like it's fully recovered now. Thank you, Basilisk. And Itadakamasu. Though I didn't recover completely after sleeping overnight, I recovered completely by leveling up. Chapter 19. It's not a big deal if it does not hit. It's a pleasant feeling to recover completely. Oh dear me, I didn't thought that there was a recovery technique by leveling up. I completely forgot about it. But this can't be used that many times, right? I just leveled up a while ago, and that means that it would be long way to go before I can level up again. If I were to bear such a serious injury after each time I fight, my recovery speed won't be able to catch up with it. Then, I would need to build a simple home there and stay indoors in order to recover. It's no use if it's like that. After all, I would return to my original life. Although I say it, it's just a discussion about what to do. I don't get stronger suddenly just because my level rose. If it's my weakness, then I would use my head to find a way to win against it. To be frank, if I were to launch a suicide attack without thinking, it would be like crossing the Sanzu River. Even though I was reincarnated, I don't have the memories where I crossed the Sanzu River. Is there no other way than this? Though I don't want to get hurt if possible, but I can't say such luxurious thing. Rather, there's not even a guarantee whether I can win the fight next time or not. Even a while ago too, I would die if I made a mistake. What if the frog didn't plunge itself into the thread as planned? I don't want to think about it. Getting through without being hurt in such a last-minute life or death state, the hurdle is slightly too high for me. No, wait. Though I assume that I would get hurt every time, but isn't it slightly dangerous? I receive damage with my paper defense. It is very bad. Among the monsters whom I have met, the frog doesn't seem to be so strong. Though I know its strength after fighting it, but its appearance just doesn't look strong. Though it has the color that makes people be cautious with its poison, but it doesn't look strong. Without poison, if it's only simple physical fighting strength, then there are others that seem to be more stronger than it. Well, I was driven into critical condition by a single blow from the weak-looking frog. Won't I get killed one hit if it was an attack from someone stronger? It's possible. If that happens, it won't be an injury anymore. What should I do? No, there's only one measure. It's no use even if I have hope in my defense. I should think that it's death if I received an attack. That means, I just have to avoid my opponent's attacks. Isn't it easy? Ahaha. What an impossible game. In my previous life, the evasive ability I have in the game was the result of repeated practice. Now I will confess it, I keep dying in the game. It's the so-called learn by dying. I observe the attack pattern of my opponent with the premise to die and learn through it. With that as foundation, I could able to control weird character like dodging specialist for the first time. Therefore, I can't win against the enemy that I have never met before. My current situation is somewhat similar to the game character. The game character specialized in speed and also had offensive power increased. Other status are in their initial value. It was a worthless character with a paper defense and with no measures against long-distance attacks. Now, I'm suffering because of this. In the first place, the reality is way much different from the game. Because in the game, I only need to use my fingers to move, but in the reality, I need to move my whole body. Even my view, it's not good if I were to be glued to a game screen. Above all, there's a feeling of tension that it will end if I die. Do I not seem to be tense? Such a thing. I don't feel tense. Let's forget about this talk. Anyway, it's different in the game and the reality. Even in the game, I'm premised to die. Me being an evasive character in the reality is impossible. Though there's no reason, but there's no good plan either. Amumu. In the first place, I have two little cards to play. Though the thread is useful in many ways, but the poison fangs only had one way to use it. I believe that the appraisal will become useful if it levels. Though the resistance skills are useful, my original defense is poor. What's left are the heresy magic and taboo with unknown effects. Heresy magic, it should be possible to use long-distance attacks if it's called as magic, but I don't know how to use it. I seriously want a tutorial. If it's possible to acquire it, I should have know at least how to use it. Magic which only exists in fantasy, and I thought I can use it if I imagine it. I think there should be a simple function like that. AAA. Well, it's no use pleading for something that doesn't exist. I peek in front stealthily from the rock shade. Small rock turtle LV2. It's a turtle carrying a rock on its back. It can be said that it's big, probably has the same size as the Galapagos in the earth, but there was no impact if it's compared with other monsters. But it has the small word in its name. Does that mean this guy is a child? Small rock turtle hatchling of rock turtle. Ah, just as expected. Is that so? It's a child with that size. I absolutely don't want to meet its parents. Well then, let's get moving. It hasn't noticed me yet. Then, let's launch a back attack without reserve. I jump out of the rock and approach at full speed. I jump at the rock shell and shoot my threads. Nuo! It was shaken off. But I succeeded in shooting my threads to it. The turtle can't move anymore. The turtle tore the thread and rushed forward. Oh, evacuate, evacuate. I avoid it with a side step. Crash. With a terrible impact, the turtle plunges into the wall. I would be crushed flat if I receive that. It was the first time that my thread got torn. This is bad. The turtle turns around to my direction. It rushes again. I avoid it. Crash. It rushes again. I avoid it. Crash. It rushes again. It's enough already. I hook a thread on the foot of the turtle while avoiding its rush. The turtle stumbles and rolls in the reaction of the rush. It's lying on the ground upside down. When it comes to this, it would have a hard time to get up. Well, I won't give enough time for it to get up. Chomp. Though I would die if it hits, but it's not a big deal if it does not hit. Chapter 20. I am a spider, currently behind you. I had a hard time to defeat the turtle. After having it lying upside down on the ground, I bite it once but it withdraw itself into its shell. I almost got caught between the shell while biting it. Having such a feeble strength, it's impossible for me to drag it out of its shell. Therefore, I put my fangs into the gap of the shell and drip my poison. Then, the turtle came out quickly. It came out looking like it's in pain and I quickly bite it. After that, I ate the turtle. I ate a meal without poison for the first time in my life. Well, it's hard and was not delicious. This time, it was a flawless victory. It's because I was able to avoid all of my opponent's attacks. Or perhaps I should say that the turtle only rushes forward foolishly and its movement is also slow. It does not mean that I have learned the secrets of avoiding. It's just that our compatibility was good. But I have a feeling that my speed has increased. Even if I level up, I don't know how strong my other status are, but it's obvious that my speed has become faster than before. I think I was able to move quite fast compared to the fight against the frog. Looks like the Pterotex species is a monster specialized in speed. Nevertheless, specialize in evasion is impossible. My greatest weapons now are my speed and threads. Deriving from these two, the most suitable strategy for me is surprise attack. Cowardice. There's no cowardice in a life or death fight. Besides, it's just a preemptive attack. That's not cowardice. Well, the match would probably be decided by the preemptive attack. Shouldn't I suppose to experience combat? Even this is a legitimate combat. A great person won't be able to understand it. Well, even if I say to launch a surprise attack, the probability to succeed is only half. Even other monsters don't live in such a danger zone for show, and it should be sensitive with dangers. I would gain if the surprise attack succeed. I will have to make my decisions quickly in the situation if I fail. The problem is if there's other monsters that can tear my thread like the turtle. Indeed, to tear my thread, which I thought that it's only weak against fire. My spider thread skill is on level 6. Within my skills, it has the highest level. To be able to tear it is approximately equal to my defeat. I was saved because the turtle was compatible. But it's frightening if I think that other monsters can tear my threads. At any rate, I put too much confidence on my threads. I will put it in my head that my threads might be torn in the future. After that, I didn't encounter any other new monsters except the turtle and I became sleepy. I went to sleep in my simple home. The sun rises the next morning even though I don't know whether it's morning or not. Anyway, I woke up. Well, let's restart my search. However, this dungeon is really wide. Though I wander around ever since I got lost in this labyrinth area, there's no sign that I can get away from this labyrinth. When there's a forked road in the passage, I would always go to the right. I heard before that placing your hands on the labyrinth wall while advancing will help you reach the goal. Advancing with a regularity is easier to remember. When the time comes, I can follow the thread which I release into the ground unconsciously and return. Like that, I advance rapidly, but there's no sign of the labyrinth's goal. As usual, the appraisal skill which I had it running, keep repeating the wall of labyrinth and the floor of labyrinth in my head. Though I don't know the accurate distance I advanced, but it should be at least dozens of kilometers by now. Ah, I came very far when I thought so. When I was a human, I would die if I walked such a distance. And I found my first prey for today. Umu. It's a monster that I never saw before. It is a monster with a lot of legs similar to a centipede. For the time being, I should appraise it. Elro failed to appraise its status. It failed. Ah, the level doesn't appear. The appraisal can fail. I knew it for the first time. Well, it doesn't make any difference even if it fails. Ah, but wait a minute. It didn't fail because of the hour level difference, right? If that's the case, that means that the centipede is much more stronger than me. But it doesn't look stronger than me. Is the failure of the appraisal have nothing to do with our level difference? If so, it's good, but what if it's like a wise man keeps some of his talents in reserve? There's no help even if I am at loss. Woman is brave. Let's go. I approach my opponent's back quickly without making a sound. Su. Hello, die. The surprise attack succeeded easily. I'm a bit disappointed that it succeeded too easily. My opinion on the centipede that I feared of was a misunderstanding. Without tearing my thread like the turtle, I complete restraining it. And I finish it with my poison fangs. The centipede looks unappetizing from its appearance, and it was unappetizing as expected. Moreover, it has a strange poison in it, and it made me feel sick after eating it. Somehow, my body feels a little stiff. Ah, I never ate anything delicious after being reborn as a spider. Although I think that it's a luxurious worry, I want to eat something delicious. Why don't a cup noodle fall somewhere? Chapter 21 HP MPSP. Skill proficiency reached. Skill appraisal LV3 has become appraisal LV4. Oh, finally my appraisal leveled up. Recently, I didn't feel sick from overflowing information. Everything's going well. Well, let's see what has been added to it. Small lesser Terratect LV6 no name. No change. Just when I was thinking about it, there were some lines with color under the species name. What's this? HP bar. I appraised the green line unintentionally. As a result, I know what the line means. HP, an abbreviation often used in games. In short, when you run out of HP, you would get a game over. A health gauge. The gauge appeared in the appraisal result. I am simply glad. Up until now, I can only know how many damage I had received through my sense only. From now on, I can understand my current condition just by looking at the bar. Now, my HP gauge is approximately full. It looks like it decreased a little, and on the right end of the line, there are some bar color in black. Umu. Though I want it to be in numerical form, but I should appreciate what I have now. And there are 3 different bars under the HP bar. First of all, let's appraise the blue one under the HP bar. MP bar. Well, it's as expected. If there's HP, then there's definitely MP. I think it should be showing the amount of my remaining magic power. Even if I say that, I can't use magic, so it's unrelated to me. It will probably decrease when I use magic. Of course, my MP doesn't decrease because I don't use magic. There are 2 bars under the MP bar, which is a mystery to me. It's a yellow and red bar. But the 2 of them sticks together and become a thick bar. I don't know what this bar shows. Appraisal. SP bar. SP? Skill point. Is it necessary to make it as a bar? No, wait. Maybe this is not skill point. Since SP is abbreviated, I don't know which abbreviation is it. Yosh, I should appraise SP. SP stamina point. Oh. As expected, it was not skill point and it was the abbreviation of a different word. It's confusing. Fo. Stamina. A physical version of magic power. Does it decrease if I move? But why there are 2 gauges? Moreover, the upper yellow gauge is full while the red gauge has decreased around 1/3. What are the difference of these 2? For trial, I appraised the stamina point again. Stamina point consumed by movement. On. After all, I don't understand it. But won't I understand it soon if I observe it? If possible, I want to appraise myself continuously because I want to look at my HP constantly. I try to maintain the appraisal cast on myself. Is it like this? On. It looks like it went well. Now, I can always confirm my HP unless I cancel my appraisal on purpose. It became quite convenient. Though it's convenient being able to see my own HP, but won't it be advantageous if I can see my opponent's HP? By looking at the opponent's HP, I can know how many hits to defeat it, and if my opponent is a magic user, it's natural to win if I knew its MP. Well, I still haven't met any monster that can use magic. But able to know a part of the opponent's information serves as a huge advantage in a fight. Did the appraisal skill finally raise the cheat skill flag? Phew fufu. I intentionally acquired the useless appraisal skill because I had anticipated that this would happen. It's not that I never knew that it's useless. Let's pretend that it's like that. Well, let's pull myself together and explore the dungeon. Oh, a monster. Elrophirect LV2 failed to appraise its status. I withdraw my previous remarks. It's still useless. Why does it have to fail in such a crucial place? I'm a fool to expect from it. For the time being, I should do something with the centipede. But isn't it impossible to launch a surprise attack here? Although, it haven't noticed me yet, but it's heading towards my direction. I got a good idea. I crawl up the wall stealthily. The body of a spider is convenient for such time. Without change, I arrive at the ceiling. Ugh, it's slightly hard to cling on the ceiling upside down. But I can hold on if I brace myself. I move along the ceiling stealthily. Hold on, my leg. My stamina gauge is decreasing. Now's not the time for it. I need to concentrate on my strategy. I arrive right above of the centipede. Yosh. That guy haven't noticed me who's right above of it. I attach a thread to the ceiling and descend quietly towards the centipede. And then I jump at it. The centipede starts to panic, but it's already too late. I wrapped it with my thread. And bite it. Phewahaha. This is my so-called be careful, I'm coming from the top strategy. A great success. Well then, itadakamasu. Fumu. I recall about the stamina gauge while eating. When I was clinging on the ceiling, it was the yellow gauge that decreased. I decreased slowly when I straddle my leg. But now, it's fully recovered. Skill proficiency reached. Acquired skill paralysis resistance LV1. Oh. Centipede, I didn't know that you have paralysis in your body. Won't it be dangerous if I fail to defeat it with my surprise attack? Let's be careful next time. Somehow the red line of the stamina gauge is recovering a little. Thought it should have decreased by around 1/3, it's recovering slowly and now, it's around 1/4 from full. Why? Did I do anything that can recover my stamina? I ate my meal. So it's like that. I see. I understood it a little. In other words, the lower red gauge shows the current whole physical strength. And the upper yellow gauge decreases when stamina is used instantaneously. For trial, I try to run at full speed. The yellow gauge decreased instantly. I ran out of energy at the same time as the yellow gauge was exhausted. Z's. Gasping sound. Running at full speed after eating. I'm such an idiot. My stomach is aching. This is intense. However, with this, it's confirmed. The yellow gauge is the gauge of instantaneous power. I would lose my breath when it's exhausted. However, because it's consumed instantaneously, the recovery is fast. In fact, once my panting stops, the gauge recovers steadily. And the lower red gauge is my total physical strength. The red gauge decreased a little when I ran. It seems dangerous if the red gauge is fully exhausted. Like I cannot move if it's exhausted. I don't want to be in such situation. It would recover if meals or nourishments are supplied, and I should always pay attention to the remaining amount of the red gauge. Chapter S2 The Fourth Prince. It's warm, like being soaked in lukewarm water. I can feel security in the warm feeling wrapping myself vaguely. It ends after a while and I go out through a small hole. I feel uneasy after losing the warmth, but after going out, I can feel a freedom. It is my oldest memory for now. Your Highness, you will catch a cold if you stay here. The voice of a maid reaches my ear when I'm looking outside from the window. Now that you say it, it's certainly cold. The scenery outside is covered in snow. I was enjoyed looking at the snowy Scenery, but it seems that I have been standing here for a long time. It looks like recently, I will forget about the time when I concentrate on something. Yes. Let's return. The maid lifts me up and carries me to the bed. There was a person on the big bed. It's still a young baby. The baby is sleeping comfortably. I gently laid next to the baby. The crib is a special ordered product that was made so that two babies can sleep in it. You should be able to understand what am I now. I am a baby. Why I, who is a baby, can think clearly? It's because I have my memories of my previous life. I was an ordinary high school student in my previous life. When I noticed, I became a baby. It's probably the so-called reincarnation. A dead man being reborn as a different man. That means that I died in my previous life. My last memory of my previous life was attending the Japanese language class. At that time, I found a crack in the space above the classroom, and from there on, I have no memories of it. A crack in the space, such a thing doesn't usually happen in the earth. That's probably the cause of my death. And somehow I was reborn with the memories of my previous life. I cannot say that there's no regrets in my previous life. It's full of regrets. I'm still in the middle of my youth and I wanted to play more with my friends. And also I didn't have the chance to get a girlfriend of the same age. In addition, I think I am undutiful to my parents to die earlier than my grandparents. I feel depressed when I thought that I would never be able to meet my family anymore. I am worried about the state of my school after I died. I remember correctly that the crack exploded. I died because of that, but how are the others? Kyuya, Kanata, Hasib-san who sits next to me, did everyone die together with me? I become scared when I think so. It was normal during the morning, but now, it's impossible to meet anymore. After being reincarnated, I continue to fight against the uneasiness crushing me. Without understanding what's going on, I became a baby when I noticed it. It's obvious that I feel uneasy in this situation. Moreover, the country where I was reborn is not Japan. It was not even an Earth. Here is not Earth but a different world. I didn't know that at the beginning. I don't understand the words here and I never went out of the nursery before. Therefore, there's a lot of things that I don't know. At first, I thought that it was a country in Europe. But the moment I saw magic, I knew I'm not in Earth. There's magic in this world. The first time I saw magic was when the time where the great person of the church gave me something called blessing. Sparkling light surrounded me and I can feel that my body was full of power. It was neither an imagination nor a trick. I realized there was magic after experiencing it. At first, I was excited at the fact that magic exists. But later, I became uneasy again. In a world with magic, can I do well in this world? I was really just an ordinary man in my previous life. When I was in Japan, there's no inconveniences in my life. But in this world, I'm not allowed to be ordinary. Can I live up to expectations? I become uneasy. I learned the words desperately. It's more terrifying than I imagined that I don't understand the words here. I don't understand what the other party says. I didn't think that I felt so helpless. It's like I'm the only one in the world being isolated. I'm uneasy because I was reincarnated in a different world. I'm uneasy because I don't understand the words. I'm uneasy because I don't know whether I can do well or not in the future. I, who was uneasy in everything, was saved by my younger sister who's sleeping peacefully next to me. This small younger sister who was born of a different mother did not held any uneasiness. She looks carefree as if the world doesn't have anything uneasy. Well, it's natural because it's a baby. A frail existence that depends on the world and leaving all to the others. Originally, a baby is such an existence. I feel this uneasy is because I have the memories of my previous life. And I realized, because I have the memories of my previous life, I should at least be mentally stronger than my younger sister. And yet, why am I troubled with my worries when my younger sister next to me looks so peaceful? I am the older brother of this child. How can an older brother show a miserable appearance to the younger sister? As an older brother, I need to show a cool appearance to my younger sister. It's just a mere vanity. However, after that, I stopped worrying. Though the uneasiness has not disappeared yet. But I want to at least protect this powerless younger sister. I learned words and I get to know about this world from the voices little by little. I moved my body of a baby forcefully so that I can move as soon as possible. Thanks to that, I was able to crawl earlier than normal babies. Like this, I mustered my motivation from the appearance of my younger sister. In order to become an older brother that my younger sister can be proud of it. It was the starting point of the fourth prince of Anarek Kingdom, Shurainzagan Anarek. Chapter 22 Spider Thread Experiments. The labyrinth exploration is going well. It goes too well until I might laugh loudly. It looks like this area is the territory of the centipedes. The centipedes are useful to gain experience from them. Their senses are too dull and they can't stop my surprise attack. The victory is already decided if I take its rear or its top. Thanks to that, I can defeat it easily. After defeating a number of centipedes, my level rose to 7. Unfortunately, there are no skills that leveled up through the bonus point. The paralysis resistance skill level rose to 2 because I keep on eating centipedes. I can accumulate experience points here easily, and the usable skill paralysis resistance also gained a level. It was good as a hunting ground. Of course, I didn't take things easily. I gained experience through the combat for my objective, and I had increased the variations of my surprise attacks. The weakness of my thread is that I can only release it from my bottom. So I must turn my bottom towards my opponent when I want to restrain it. As for the pose, I stand with my 2 hind legs and stick out my bottom. Because of the chance of the opponent to strike back is big, the method I used was either to release my thread when I'm glued to my opponent or jump up into the air and launch an aerial bombing of threads. However, these methods are considerably dangerous. In the property of the thread, my victory is decided if I succeed. But the backlash when I failed is huge. It would be difficult to avoid my opponent's attack if I'm glued to it. I might get shot down if I jump into the air like how my brother did before. It's slightly different from the word high risk, high return. Well, that's why I developed some methods to use my thread safely. It's a new weapon called the portable web. In short, I make a small web and hold it with my forelegs. The advantage of this small web is that it gets rid of my chance of being counterattacked. Because I only need to charge forward while holding it. Well, compared to my unreasonable posture when I release my thread until now, it's considerably easier. On the contrary, its flaw is that I can't use my 2 forelegs when I'm holding it. Because I have another 6 legs, it gets off with a little feeling of inconvenience. Other than that, I need to make this web beforehand. Well, it would be an instant for me to make such a web as I am already a professional web craftsman, even though it's self-proclaimed. The completion of a wonderful weapon with low risk and high return. I tried making various weapons but all ended up as failure. As the side who launches surprise attacks, I wanted some safety measures against surprise attacks. Therefore, I was going to develop the enemy searching thread, which I thought about for a long time. This is an invisible thin thread released into the air from my bottom, and I can sense the approaching enemy from the information obtained from the thread. It's different from the time I set it up in my home, which I have it hanging loosely. There's too much problems to set it up. It was disastrous. If I were to leave the thread alone, it would get tangled with other threads and get caught in the wall. Moreover, it's inevitable that I would get distracted if I can obtain every single information. Even if I try to concentrate so that it won't happen, I would put all my consciousness in it and I won't be aware of my surroundings. At this point, I gave up on the implementation of the enemy searching thread. Next, I thought of raising my poor defense, so I tried making defense clothes with the threads. Well, if I were to say it from the results, then it was not good. Though it's possible to make clothes, but it was extremely hard to wear it. In the first place, I'm a spider. I don't have dexterous hands like humans and I have a complicated body structure. So I can't wear clothes no matter how much effort I put on it. Then, how about wrapping my body with threads? This is also rejected. Though I can wrap myself with threads, but there's a possibility that it might obstruct my movement if I wrap myself half-baked. I can't afford to cut down my speed, which is one of my characteristics for such a reason. Therefore, it's necessary to wrap myself properly, but it's not possible to wrap myself until I'm consent because of the same reason a while ago. In addition, even if I was able to wear it, there's no meaning to it if I can't take it off. At any rate, my figure changes each time I eat. If I were to expand like a ball while wearing clothes, isn't it painful if it happens? Though I have another method if I can borrow someone's hands, but it's impossible with my legs and my body that can't even look back. This was also abandoned. Umu. When thinking like this, the spider's body also has its own merits and demerits. Though I can jump, leap and stick on the wall, but not having a hand is really a bottleneck. I thought seriously that the human's hand was really convenient. By the way, the skill level of the spider thread didn't rise even though I experimented this much. As expected, the necessary skill proficiency increases with the skill level. Well, unlike the time I shut myself in my home, I don't want to use my threads wastefully as much as possible. Unlike my safe home, anything can happen in the outside, so I want to maintain a perfect state as much as possible. The reason I was able to experiment my threads after a long time was because there's a food called centipede around here. Though there were many failures in this experiment, there were things that I gained too. If there's an opportunity, I should do some trial and error in the future. Chapter 23. I'm sorry that I got carried away. Please forgive me. Even today, I work hard in hunting the centipedes. Geez. It sure is a centipede paradise. Though their appearance are disgusting, but if I were to ignore that part, it's possibly the best prey. Well, I don't have such a delicate way of thinking, and now I am quite fond with the centipede. Centipede is the best. My paralysis resistance went up to level 3 already. Will I level up soon? Good grief, a variety of centipedes. A while ago, I attacked 2 centipedes boldly at the same time and I was able to win comparatively easily. The first one was restrained by a surprise attack and I fought seriously against the second one. After fighting normally, I understood that the centipede is unexpectedly fast. Well, not as fast as me though. In addition, it looks like the centipede only has one way to attack, which is biting. Probably I would be paralyzed if I were bitten, but it's not a big deal if it doesn't hit. If I am cautious to the bite, then it's easy afterwards. It's the first time I saw a monster weaker than my species. That's why I won't lose to the centipede even if I launch a surprise attack or I fight it head on. Fayahahaha. I am really strong. My laughter can't stop. And also it's good that the centipede can be eaten easily. Though it looks like it has some volume in it, but when I eat, it doesn't have that much meat in it. A centipede can satisfy hunger, but it's not enough to reach full. Therefore, I can eat all of them even if I overhunt it. For me who have a frugal mind, leaving behind is a crime that can't be forgiven. Therefore, it's very good that I can finish eating all of them. This is exactly perfect. It's like the centipedes are born to be hunted by me. After leaving my home, up until now I have taken quite a lot of risk, so there won't be any retributions even if I have some fun once in a while, right? I explore the dungeon while humming. Well, I just play the music in my head only and it's not like I can hum. Rather, I wonder where's my nose. Well, I don't mind it. Oh. The path breaks here? But it looks like it's not a dead end. Though this labyrinth is unexpectedly huge, but there's no dead end. Up until now, the path I advance always continues and there's no blind alley here. Though it's good that I won't get cornered when I'm running, but when I think about that the path continues on like this, it makes me sigh. Perhaps this dungeon is the underground of this world, is what I might think. Though I don't want to think like that, but I have never gone out of this dungeon before, so I haven't seen the scenery outside. That opinion may be possible too. If something bad happens, my life might end in this dungeon even if there's the outside world. I want to accomplish my lifespan if that time comes, but before that, the possibility of my death is much more higher. In the first place, how long is my lifespan? Thinking from my size, can I live as long as a dog? If possible, I want to have a longer lifespan than my previous life. Well, let's put away such useless thoughts. Apparently, the broken path in front of me has become something like a cliff. A large space can be seen in the depths of the broken path. Does this mean that I can finally get out from this narrow labyrinth zone? Then, what kind of place will it be next? If possible, I want to refrain from places with high degree of difficulty like the huge passage zone where I was born. I would like to avoid from cannibalism, the huge spider and a large crowd of monsters. I would still die no matter how many lives I have. Well then, what will happen after this? I stand at the edge of the cliff and try to look at the bottom. Elrophirect LV2 failed to appraise its status. 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 Elrophirect LV2 failed to appraise its status times a lot. Skill proficiency reached. Skill appraisal LV4 has become appraisal LV5. Ugh. My head is aching. The information of the appraisal flowed into my head and a shock hit my head hard. I almost lost my consciousness. That was close. I see, if I appraised to many things at once, I would get an headache because of the overflowing information. It's considerable that I almost lost consciousness. The volume of information that can make me lose my consciousness? I look below the cliff once again. Even if it's a cliff, it's only around 1 meter. The extensive space spreads out. Though it was supposed to be a huge space, but it didn't give out such feeling. The space was full of centipedes. What? What's this? What's this? What's this? As far as I can see, it's all centipedes. As expected, I'm starting to feel sick. Not disgusting, but it makes me feel sick. What are you guys looking at? Me. In my personal opinion, I don't think I look delicious. Let's escape. Now, I will become the wind. I turned around and run. Gasagasagasagasagasagagasagasa. Hidari. They came chasing me. I'm sorry that I got carried away. Therefore, please forgive me. The yellow stamina gauge runs out. Ugh, this is tiring. But I would die if I stop now. For the sake of living, I must do my best in running. The red gauge begins to decrease slowly instead of the yellow gauge. In the end, I continued running until my red gauge reaches its half and I was able to lose the centipede army. I thought I was gonna die. Chapter 24 Week. Centipedes are scary. Seriously, what was that? I felt the terror of the violence of numbers. I'm tired. My legs are trembling, probably because of the yellow gauge, which shows instantaneous power is exhausted. Let's take a rest for now. I look back towards the rear once again to confirm whether the centipede army is still chasing me or not. Yosh, nothing's there. I set up my thread and make a simple home. I felt relieved when the defensive walls of the webs completed, but at the same time, my body loses its strength. This would likely be my trauma. Even if one of them is weak, it will be a threat if there's so many of them. There's nothing I can do if I were to be attacked in waves with that many centipedes. Moreover, they have paralysis attacks. I will become the prey of paralysis once bitten. Then, I just need to wait for my whole body to be crunched. It's terrifying to think about it. I should have think about the reason why there are so many centipedes in that area. No, rather than thinking about the reason that there are many centipedes, shouldn't it be better to think about why there are no other monsters in that area? At any rate, the centipede is weak when it's alone. It's strange that there are no other predators when there's such a delicious food. Though it's possible to say that they hesitated to eat it because of the paralysis, but in this dungeon that is overflowed with poison attribute monsters, the possibility is low. It should be either the monsters knew that there's a swarm of centipedes or the monster stepped in without knowing and became a prey for the centipedes. I barely escaped even with my speed. Therefore, it's difficult for other monster to run away from it. Being caught up when trying to escape and being bitten by it, being surrounded by a swarm of centipedes while in paralyzed state. It's terrifying. Even a weak monster has its own measures. If I look at my battle ability, I can say that I'm weak, but if I were to make a web and place my traps, I can even win against stronger monsters. I shouldn't relax my guard just because it's weak. I should think that I learned my lesson this time. Somehow I managed to survive, and it's a fact that I did have a good time with the centipede. Thanks to that, I was able to level quite easily. I recalled it. Come to think of it, my appraisal leveled up because I appraised the centipede army. Is it a fluke? For the time being, I should cancel the appraisal on myself and reappraise myself. I didn't have the time to confirm it when I was being chased by the centipedes. Small lesser Terratect LV7 no name. Status, weak. What's this status, weak? It's too rough. Besides, no, I knew I was weak. Can't you be a little more indirect? The results of my appraisal show that I'm weak. So that means it's proven that I'm weak based on the world standard. I'm losing my strength. No, a while ago, I thought that I shouldn't be careless against a weak opponent. I have this thread. Even if this body is weak, as long as I have this thread, the word defeat doesn't exist. Actually, looking generally, I don't think I can be said as weak. Though there's prejudice, but isn't it that I'm the type who is strong when my opponent got caught? Trap made with spider thread, a victory by surprise attack and poison fang on the opponent who can't move. I'm considerably nasty. When this becomes a head-on fight, it's interesting because I'll go straight to being weak. The point is how long I can fight in my field. I should only force my strength without allowing my opponent to hold the pace. Well, there won't be any hardships if I can do it anytime. Ha, I'm tired. Let's sleep. I woke up. But I'm still tired. Despite that, I woke up suddenly. I wonder what's this feeling. I don't understand it well, but it's a dangerous feeling. I get up quickly and add more threads to the simple home. Then, I noticed the identity of the dangerous feeling. REBORN LV9 failed to appraise its status --. It was a huge snake. The thickness of its body seems to be able to swallow up a human, and its length seems to be more than 10 meters too. It's obviously strong. Furthermore, it's LV9. It's my first time to meet a monster who has a higher level than me. Up until now, the highest level I have seen was level 4. And now, it jumps up at a stretch to 9. It's obviously a high-rank monster. It also has a higher level. There's no chance to win if I fight directly. My cold sweat in my heart won't stop. I stay still like a frog glared by a snake, no, I mean a spider. I somehow managed to move my body, which became hard because of the tension. I retreat slowly and take distance from the snake. The snake didn't allow me to do that. It plunges itself forward, disregarding the webs around. Naturally, its body got caught in the web. However, the snake writhes and forcibly tears the thread. I turn around and escape at top speed. When I escaped through the escape hatch to the outside, the snake broke through the first web and charged towards the web that I just passed through at almost the same time. My instinct tells me to escape. But I didn't escape. I saw it. The snake is entangled in the web. Though it can tear the threads, but it can't remove the threads completely. Now, the snake's body is entangled by the webs that's in good condition and the webs that sticks to it when it broke through forcibly. Good. This is my field. I cling to the writhing snake's body. I bite it immediately while releasing additional threads from my bottom. I somehow manage to penetrate its hard scales with my fangs. And I drive my poison fang into its body. The snake moves intensely because of the poison driven into its body. It struggles intensely even though I have restrained it. Though my body has been thrown to the ground and the wall many times, I continue to cling on it with spirit and guts. The yellow stamina gauge decreases. Whenever my body is thrown, the green health gauge decreases. In addition to it, the red gauge decreases whenever I release a thread. If my red gauge is exhausted, then I probably can't release threads anymore. If it becomes like that, then it's a matter of time that the restraint will be torn. Before that, I need to defeat this snake. I continued biting and continued releasing threads. The resistance of the snake gradually weakens. When my yellow gauge has already been exhausted and my red gauge was under 10%, the snake finally stopped moving. Just because I'm weak, it became like this because you relaxed your guard against me. Chapter 25. I make one part easier to understand in the level up screen, which is level up bonus skill proficiency, so that it shows that she gained skill proficiency by leveling. Also, not to forget this skill. I used vision range expansion. Any better one, just suggest in the comments. 25 Delicious Snake. Experience points has reached a certain degree. Individual, small lesser Terratect LV7 has became LV8. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency was acquired. Skill proficiency reached. Skill pain resistance LV1 has became pain resistance LV2. Skill points gained. Experience points has reached a certain degree. Individual, small lesser Terratect LV8 has became LV9. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency was acquired. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Poison Fang LV5 has became Poison Fang LV6. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Night Vision LV9 has became Night Vision LV10. Conditions met. Skill Vision Range Expansion LV1 was derived from Skill Night Vision LV10. Skill points gained. A lot of stuff leveled up. It looks like it's common to gain a lot of experience points if I defeat an opponent stronger than myself, no matter which world is it. I went up by 2 levels in one go. Certainly, the snake was a powerful enemy. The possibility for me to win in a direct fight is 0. Strong body. The defense covered with hard scale. Guessing from the time it charges to my webs, its speed should be considerably high. It might be faster than me. In addition, speaking of snake, it's poison. This guy probably has poison in it too. To be frank, the probability to win even after restraining it in the web was still 50 to 50. Though my wounds were cured after leveling up, but my physical strength has been decreased to the point where it's considerably critical. My stamina was also the same and it was considerably dangerous. The return was even bigger than that. When I overhunted the centipedes, I thought that I would get to level 8 soon. But I never expect that my level went up to 9 in one go. Though I'm happy that I leveled up, but it's also big that the level of the skills rose. There's no loss that the pain resistance leveled up and the poison fang is one of my trump cards along with the spider thread. If the level of my poison fang rises, my offensive power will also increase. Or perhaps I should say that the poison fang is the only weapon for the current me. If there's an opponent with high poison resistance, then it's bad. Next is the one caught my eyes in this level up, night vision. On. Now that you mention it, it's not strange that I have it. Needless to say, there's no light in this dungeon. There's nothing here that can become a source of light and it's pitch black in here. But I can see the surroundings clearly. It's a little surprising that this was contributed by the skill. I certainly thought that it was a species characteristic. Because of night vision leveled up, there's changes in my vision. From dim to bright. I can see the surroundings clearly. Apparently 10 is the highest skill level. Otherwise, I can't explain about this brightness. Well, it's possible that only night vision has 10 levels as its limit. I don't know whether it's a bonus from the night vision that has reached level 10 or not, but I obtained a skill called Vision Range Expansion. To be frank, I don't know its effect even though it's good. I thought that it widens my field of vision according to the name, but it doesn't seem to be it. Up until now, there's a lot of skills that I don't know its effect from its name. This is also one of them. Such time, I should just appraise my skill but I can't. I can only appraise visible things is the condition to use the appraisal. All the skills are things which the voice of heaven tells you. I can't appraise it because it's invisible. It seems that the appraisal result written in my head is judged as visible. If the level of my appraisal rises, the skills might show up in the status. Then, I might be able to appraise my skill. I have no choice but to leave it till then. Now then, let's eat this big thing that I killed it with much efforts. For the time being, in the middle of eating, I should rebuild the simple home so that I won't get attacked by other monsters. When thinking of the snake's large build, it's impossible to finish eating it once. So I think I should settle down here until I finish eating the snake. So I build the simple home carefully. Skill proficiency reached. Skill spider thread LV6 has become spider thread LV7. Good things seem to happen over and over again. The spider thread that didn't level easily was able to level up. Is it because that I keep using it while fighting the snake? At any rate, my main skills, which are the poison fang and spider thread, have leveled up. Honestly, the skill level up increases my combat ability more than the basic ability rise in the level up. I decide to eat my meal in a good mood. However, I need to remove this guy's scale first. Even I can't eat such a hard scale. It's necessary to remove the scales in order to eat it. I removed the scales. Ah, I'm tired. It was more tiring than expected. It took some time because it was hard and it's difficult to peel it off. The red gauge of the total stamina that was restored by level up has decreased by a quarter. It was a heavy labor. However, with this, I can finally eat without reserve. Thus, itadakamasu. Yuwa, it's bitter. It's very bitter. Bitter is the taste of poison, right? With such bitterness, what a strong poison this guy have. It might be dangerous if I were bitten. Skill proficiency reached. Skill poison resistance LV5 has become poison resistance LV6. On. Though the taste is bad, it's very delicious for a skill. Chapter 26 Dehiki Plan. Several days have passed since I defeated the snake. But I don't know the accurate amount of days passed because I'm in the dungeon. In the meantime, I'm living idly. I can't seem to finish eating the snake, and because of the new food get caught in the web, it's impossible to move from here. At first, I thought that this a vacation, but this might be bad. At this rate, I will return back to become a hickey. I took a glance at the mountain of praise that I killed in these past several days. Mountain. Yes, it's a mountain. It's not Yamada. That reminds me of the Yamada-kun in the class of my previous life. No, now, it's just something trivial. Anyway, the praise are stacking up and becomes a mountain at that place. It became like this because I killed all the monsters that got caught in the web. When I was in my home, I ate it as soon as I caught it. But I don't want to set my hands on another prey until I finish eating the snake, so I decided to keep it for the time being. And so it became like this. I was able to kill it easily because there was no monsters like the snake. Among them, there was a level 6 monster and there's a considerably strong monster too, but they are now part of the mountain. Well, it may not be strong even if its level is high. My level is 9. I'm equal with the snake in level. But the snake is overwhelmingly stronger than me in battle ability. On the contrary, I'm confident that I can't win against a lower level monster without using my threats. In my opinion, I think that the most important thing in measuring one's strength is the type of the species. Even in the same level, if the opponent is a higher ranked species, there may not be any chance to win. The only time where superiority and inferiority is decided by levels is when the opponent is from the same species. The one I know is probably the huge spider that should be the strongest. Supposing the huge spider is level 1, there's no way I can win against it. Against such large build, I would die easily no matter how hard I try, even if it's level 1. It's better to think that the difference in level as a reference. When thinking so, there's a gap more than the level difference between the snake and me. Actually, I managed to win because I happened to build my simple home, but if I were to encounter it without preparations, there's no way I can win. It can be said that I'm considerably lucky. As for the snake now, about 3/4 has disappeared into my stomach. Should I think that I have ate 3/4 of the large build? Or should I think that there's still a quarter remaining? There's still the corpse of the monsters which piled up like a mountain, so I should say that there's still a quarter remaining. With this much stored, it might start to rot before I eat it. Well, I don't think I would have a stomach ache even if I ate rotten things because I have corrosion resistance. I rather prefer it to be slightly rotten because it might raise my skill level. The taste. I can endure eating it now because I have ate the poison monsters that taste bad continuously. Umu. It looks like it's impossible to move until I finish digesting all these foods. As long as I can finish eating the snake, I can somehow reduce the number of food because there's no large monster among it. Or perhaps I should say that I would really return back to a hickey if I don't finish eating. I thought that here was only a simple home, and yet this is becoming the same as the previous home due to the duration of my stay increased. Wait. Isn't it because the home became excellent since it caught a lot of praise excessively? No. Still, even a monster won't try to attack my solid home. In my previous home, I used threads. That's hard to see as much as possible because it's solely for catching praise. But now, in this simple home, I never set up such threads because this home is acting as a defense. When I'm thinking about it, a vibration is transmitted from the thread. It looks like something got caught in the web. Awfu. Food will increase again. I didn't imagine that I would be troubled with such gluttony. For the time being, I head towards my prey. It's struggling with quite a strong power. Is it a big one? If it becomes so, then my withdrawal period will get longer again. If possible, I would prefer the small one, but it's just a luxurious worry. Elro Randanal LV3 failed to appraise its status. Elro Randanal LV3 failed to appraise its status. Elro Randanal LV4 failed to appraise its status. 3 monsters were caught in the web. Ah, it's the 3 guys that I caught before in my previous home. Are these 3 monsters one set? However, the quantity might be bigger than catching a big one. I mean the quantity of meat. For the time being, I strengthen the restraint by adding threads, and I carry all 3 of them with a web. Removing this web is the new technique I learned after coming here. It's convenient because I don't need to separate a part of the web one by one. I set up a new web and head back to the center of the home carrying the monsters. Ugh, as expected, it's heavy when there's 3 of them. I should have carried it one by one without being reluctant to do it. Dase. Ah, it was heavy. My body started to feel pain. Even my HP decreases plainly. I will have them compensate for this anger. Though it's considerably unreasonable, I don't care about it. Thus, chomp, chomp, chomp. Experience points has reached a certain degree. Individual, small lesser Terratect LV9 has become LV10. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency was acquired. Skill points gained. Conditions met. Individual, small lesser Terratect can evolve. What? Chapter 27. I'm going to evolve. Something unexpected was told along with the level up. You mean evolve? In other words, is it that? Is it something like the game where you raise a pocket monster? There are multiple choices of evolution. Please choose from the following. Lesser pterodactyl. Small pterodactyl. Oh, ooh, wait a minute. Just a moment. Let's think carefully. This is an important turning point of life. Not a human life but a spider life. Anyway, I can't carelessly choose these. I'll evolve. Well, that's good. It's not strange that such thing exist in this game-like world. It would be endless if I start to retort about it. Well, since it's called as evolution, it should be a power-up. If I could evolve, it's obviously better to do it, maybe. On. There are some things that are better if it didn't evolve, though it's just a game knowledge. Well, I think that evolving is better because such a type is minor. The problem is that I have two kinds of evolution. Lesser pterodactyl and small pterodactyl. It doesn't seem to differ much just by hearing the names. The only difference is lesser or small. Ah, it would be nice if I can use my appraisal on the voice of heaven. Then, I can understand the difference clearly. Well, generally, can you imagine it? I think I would probably change into adult form if it's lesser pterodactyl. The word small disappeared from the name. On the contrary, for the small pterodactyl, will I become a higher rank species from the deteriorating species because the word lesser disappeared? However, the word small remains means that I would remain as a hatchling. Perhaps, I can depend on this recognition. When thinking so, I have decided on which I should choose. The only option is small pterodactyl. It's not too good even if I evolve as a deteriorating species. In addition, if it's small pterodactyl, then doesn't that means that there's one more stage of evolution left? Removing the small and evolve into a pterodactyl. I don't know how much change will occur by evolving, but at least, it's certain that I would get stronger after evolving. Then, it's obvious to pick the choice that can evolve a number of times. By any chance, the lesser pterodactyl might be able to evolve, but it's impossible to bring myself to choose it by wishful thinking. In addition, if I chose lesser pterodactyl, it's scary that I don't know how big I would become. Becoming an adult form probably increases my body size. Though I think that I probably won't get bigger suddenly after evolve, but I can't say that it's not possible. This is a fantasy world, it's scary that I can't cut the possibility of a development like I'll evolve, poof, I became big. While the possibility exists, I can't choose it easily. Surely, I don't think I would become as big as the huge spider, but I would be troubled if my body enlarged into the size where I can't fit in this passage now. Though there was a monster called Finjote that I saw before, this monster has a large build that can fill up this 3 meters square passage. In such a state, moving should be hard. I think that probably those monsters originally inhabit in a wider place and that individual accidentally lost its way into the narrow passage. When thinking so, it's possible that I can't move with a large build. Then, it's better that the size remains the same. That's one of the reasons to choose small pterodactyl. On. I decided it. I'll evolve into small pterodactyl. Individual small lesser pterodactyl evolves into small pterodactyl. Ah, yes. Evolution sure starts abruptly. Though the voice of heaven is always abrupt, I want it to mind my emotions a little more. Even when I'm evolving with much efforts. Evolution completed. Became the small pterodactyl species. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency was acquired. Skill proficiency reached. Skill taboo LV1 has became taboo LV2. Skill proficiency reached. Skill heresy magic LV1 has became heresy magic LV2. Skill proficiency reached. Skill corrosion resistance LV1 has became corrosion resistance LV2. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Idaten LV1 has became Idaten LV2. Skill points gained. Ooh. When did I sleep? No, my consciousness fades away suddenly and feels like snapping off. Isn't this the effect of the evolution? Hey, voice of heaven san, you should say it beforehand that I would lose consciousness when evolving. Did the evolution ended? It doesn't seem that there are any changes in my appearance. The appraisal has been cancelled. Yosh, I appraise myself to confirm my current condition. Small pterodactyl LV1 no name. Status, weak. HMMMM. It looks like the evolution succeeded because the species name has changed. However, LV1? Is it the one where level falls after evolving? Don't tell me that my status also experience a decrease. I can't judge it because the status still shows that I'm weak. I mean I'm still weak. Leaving that aside, There's something that's bothering me, which is the red total stamina gauge is almost empty. So that's why my body feels so heavy since a while ago and I'm very hungry. Probably because of energy was used in evolution. Luckily, I have stored up a lot of praise. It looks like the evolution somehow succeeded, but this is dangerous if I do it simply. I would lose consciousness and get hungry. In case there's a next one, it would be bad if I don't prepare beforehand. Chapter 28 Eat. I eat earnestly in order to recover the stamina that became empty after evolving. First is the remaining part of the snake. The remainder of the snake, which I had a hard time to finish eating, it is now inside my stomach. Skill proficiency reached. Skill poison resistance LV6 has become poison resistance LV7. The poison resistance skill leveled up right after I finish eating the snake. Thanks to this snake, my poison resistance went up by 2 levels. Delicious. Before I evolved, if I ate this much, my stomach would have bulged like a balloon, but now, I wonder whether the food that I eat disappear in a different space or not because my stomach doesn't bulge. It's really like whatever I ate seems to disappear. On the contrary, the red total stamina gauge is recovering rapidly. After coming to this world, I have encountered a lot of mysterious phenomenon, but it seems that my current stomach is the most mysterious one. What's going on in my stomach? Well, there's no help for it even if I think deeply. I clearly get that this is that sort of world. Let's leave it to a scholar to clarify such a mysterious phenomenon. Therefore, my stomach didn't bulge even after I finish eating the snake. It didn't bulge, so there's no way that it's sufficient. The red total stamina gauge is still far from full. Fortunately, there's a mountain of monsters' corpses in the home. There's the quantity that I was troubled with how to finish it before I evolved. As expected, with this much, my different dimension stomach will surely be satisfied. Thus, itadakamasu. Eat. I eat earnestly. I was a person with a small appetite in my previous life, but now in this world, I am glutton. Now, I don't feel like I would lose to any food fighter. No, seriously, what's going on in my stomach? It's obvious that I'm eating something that's more than my body's volume, and yet I can still eat more. Don't tell me that it's real that my stomach is connected with another dimension. Though I know that there's no help even if I think so, but I'm worried when it comes to my body. I won't understand anything even if I'm worried, but I'm getting impatient. Don't think. I shouldn't think about anything now and I should continue eating. Eat. There's nothing to eat anymore. Did I eat all the food here? I ate them all. There's nothing left. Seriously. My stomach is in 8/10 though. The red total stamina gauge is also the same. I don't become full even if I ate that much. Don't tell me from now on, it's always like this. It is just this time only right because I used up my energy for my evolution. Otherwise, I'm sure that I will starve to death. That is troubling. That is very troubling. No, right? There's no such thing, right? If it is so, then evolution is an outrageous landmine. No, when thinking properly, isn't it that evolution is relatively a landmine? I would lose consciousness and my energy becomes approximately empty. I don't know how long passed since I lost my consciousness, and during that time, I would be defenseless. Though I don't had any problems because I'm inside the home, but for other monsters, isn't evolution quite life-threatening? I am really lucky. In addition, even if I succeed in the evolution, it's dangerous because I'll run out of energy. If they don't have any stored food like me, they would need to hunt. In such a worn-out state. Won't it get defeated if it hunt in such state? I am really lucky. Is this the protagonist revision or opportunism? Well, there's no way a spider can be a protagonist. Up until now, my spider life was not peaceful to the extent that I need to count on my good luck. I should start preparing when I'm around level 9 if the next evolution occurs at level 10. This time, I managed to evolve in a perfect state, but normally, it won't go as well as this without any preparations. It was really good that I was able to kill that snake. If the snake was not there, I won't build the home and there won't be a mountain of food. Snake-sama, thank you. Though it has recovered to some degree, my stomach is still not satisfied. Now that I have finished eating all the food, there's no reason to stay in this home anymore. Here's the start of the Dehiki plan. Therefore, I leave this home that I'm indebted to and start my aimless journey again. Thank you, my second home. Unexpectedly, I have stayed for a long time even though it's just a temporary inn. Farewell. I depart triumphantly. For the time being, let's find a prey to fill my stomach. After that, well, I want to head towards the dungeon's exit even though I will wander aimlessly as usual. If there's a next evolution, I think that my body will grow bigger. My appearance didn't change after this evolution, but it has such an effect. So it's not impossible that there's a pattern where I would become big immediately after evolution. Then, in this passage now, I'm a little uneasy with the size. If possible, I want to go to a bigger passage. I think the best choice is to go outside. It's possible that if I grow bigger inside the dungeon, I might not be able to get out if the exit is small. Indeed, living in this dungeon throughout my life is a bit too much. Well, anyway, let's find a prey. The talk starts after that. Chapter 29. The things that I need to do is still the same even if I evolve. Found the first prey. Elro Frog LV5 failed to appraise its status. The frog that I'm familiar with. But it looks like it has the highest level among the guys I have seen before. I feel like wanting to know how much have changed in my abilities after evolving. I think I should have become stronger because it's called as evolution. But my level also falls to level 1. It's good if the revision is as much as the level I have raised, but it's dangerous if level 1 decrease my stats considerably. Well, there's probably no such thing here, but there's such a system according to the game. It's temporary weakening and I would become much more stronger than before if I raise it once again. Though it's not wrong in a speedrun game, but it's a matter of life and death if it's forced to be done in reality. I think that it's probably alright, but let's go with the safety measures here. I should not do anything reckless if I'm uneasy. My life hangs on this, so I need to proceed carefully. I climb the wall stealthily. I head towards the ceiling and advance upside down. I fix my body using a thread once I arrive right above the frog. I also release threads to make a small web on my forelegs. Preparations completed. I hang down a thread towards the frog and I move down on the thread. 3, 2, 1, go. I assault it from the overhead to cover the frog with the web which I held in my forelegs. The frog was caught in the web without an interval to avoid it, and I, who hangs on the frog with a web, shoots additional threads on the frog's body. Once it becomes impossible for the frog to move, I approach it and bite it. It's a skillful hunting, even if I say so myself. Maybe it's time to call myself as an assassin. Kukuku. Don't think you can escape from this thread and fangs. For the time being, let's eat the frog. Itadakamasu. However, it's that. The things I need to do is still the same even if I evolve. At first, my objective was to gain combat experience, but I feel like that the objective is getting hazy. After all, the monsters around here generally has a higher rank than me. My life won't be sufficient no matter how many lives I have if I fought it directly. Why, there's no one that is in a reasonable level to fight with. Though the surprise attack from my assassination combo works well. But after I make my nest, I don't have the opportunity to launch a surprise attack. Then I feel that my first aim is out of the track because I was supposed to get stronger to be able to fight against those who break through my nest. No. I have evolved. My level rose. It would be advantageous if I raise my basic abilities. Up until now, my actions is not pointless. Let's put it that way. My activity in this area has become nearly meaningless. Dangerous. However, the real problem, keep relying on a surprise attack, is kinda dangerous. One of the reasons I lost my home is because I was overestimating my home's power. And here, I want to develop something into a weapon. I won't have so much troubles if I can think immediately. The one that I come up with right away was none other than the unknown effect heresy magic. If I can use this, then I might be able to develop new strategies, but I just don't know how to use it. If I were a human, will I be taught on how to use it? Well, there's no help for it even if I make such an assumption. But being forced to solve everything on my own is both comfortable and troublesome. It's comfortable that I don't need to associate pointlessly with other people, but it's also troublesome that I need to confront such a hopeless thing. Either way, in this figure, I don't think it's possible for me to interact with humans. I can't talk. If there's telepathy, then it might be possible, right? Come to think of it, I have reached level 10, so isn't it time to use my skill points? My skill points should become 100 points if I assume that I gain 10 skill points in each level. I was able to acquire appraisal with 100 points, so I might acquire a new skill soon. Therefore, Voice of Heaven-san, can I acquire a skill? Currently you have 200 skill points. The skill Telepathy LV1 can be acquired by spending 100 skill point. Do you want to acquire it? Ooh. It's really possible to acquire it. Telepathy doesn't have its use in the present condition. This is rejected. But I have saved up 200 points. That means 20 points gained per level. Then I should be able to acquire a new skill when I became level 6. Because there's the appraisal too that is useless after acquiring it, but if I raise its level steadily, it might be usable in the future. I might have did something wasteful. No, wait. Let's recall my memories properly. If I'm not mistaken, didn't I try to acquire a skill when I was level 6 but it end up that I can't acquire it? Didn't it said that I'm lacking of skill points? The reasons that I can think of are the points gained increase by the height of the level and increase by evolution. Though both are possible, I have no way to verify it now. For the time being, I will put away the reason why the point increase. Chapter 30. Let's acquire a new skill. Well, now that my skill points has increased, I want to acquire a new skill. But this is bad if I don't do it carefully. There's the appraisal too, and I would end up regretting if I simply decide what to pick. For the time being, I want to focus on thinking after safety is secured. I ignore the remains of the frog which I have finished eating and quickly build a simple home. I'm already skillful to be able to make a simple home like an odd job. Yosh. With this, I can concentrate. First, the skills that I shouldn't acquire. I should refrain from acquiring anything that's related with magic because there's the case of heresy magic. I can clearly see that the pattern where I don't know how to use it and it will end up useless. I will also exclude all the skills that its effect can't be known just by looking at its name. Next, I also shouldn't acquire skills that I seem to be able to acquire it myself. When thinking based on my experience up until now, each skill has its own skill proficiency. Once the skill proficiency reaches a certain degree, the skill level will rise. I think that the skill proficiency will still increase even if the skill level is less than 1, and once it reach a minimal required value, a new skill will be acquired. It might be a feature only for the resistance skill because up until now all the skills I acquired through this way are all resistance skills. But if I can acquire it by myself, there's no need to use my skill points for it. When thinking so, I think that it was not a mistake to have acquired appraisal. After all, I don't know how to raise the appraisal skill proficiency from 0. In addition, unlike magic, I know how to use it. The appraisal might be rare skill even though I have been saying that it's useless. After thinking about it, the skill that I should acquire must be a skill that I know how to use and skill that's difficult to acquire by myself. I feel that the conditions is quite severe. In the first place, with only the skill's name, acquiring a skill without knowing its effect is a very scary system. I need to continue inquiring about the name from the voice of heaven so that I can confirm it. Though I have tried it before, I need to request about the skill that I want to acquire to the voice of heaven in case when skill points is consumed and a skill is acquired. The voice of heaven will react when there's such a skill name, but the voice of heaven will remain silent when there's no such skill name. Therefore, I must inquire steadily whether there's such a skill or not from the voice of heaven. Because I often inquire when I'm free, some skill names are confirmed. I think I will acquire the skill that matches the conditions from that. There are 5 choices. Poison Claw. Control Thread. Automatic HP Recovery. SP Consumption Down. Detection. Poison Claw and Control Thread are skills that I can use to strengthen my skills. Poison Claw is similar as Poison Fang. Just that it's a claw version. Control Thread is a support skill to use my spider thread more efficiently. If there's a problem, then it's that the Poison Claw is considerably weaker than Poison Fang after acquisition. Control Thread, I don't know whether I know the way to use it or not. Automatic HP Recovery and SP Consumption Down are both support skills. The effects are probably just as its name, and I think having it will make things considerably convenient. Last, detection is quite a risk. After all, I want to take measures against surprise attack if I were to live in this dungeon. Though it's the skill for that, the effect that I demand from this skill is doubtful and the way to use it is also doubtful. TL note, don't know about this. I think that it will become some sort of bet to acquire this skill. Though there were other skills that I want, this was the lineup after I took the use of the skills. Still, I didn't think to pursue romance in this situation which my life hangs on it. What's left are skills that I want but lack of skill points. Like immortality. No matter how I think, the necessary skill points for it is way much higher. I'm at loss. After all, rather than developing new strategies, I'm currently on the path of strengthening my strategies. Well, there's no help for it to prevent it meddling with an incompetent skill. That's why I think I should remove automatic HP recovery from the choices for the time being. After all, in my case, the possibility that I will die if my HP decreases is high. Since I want to stick with the assassin style, I must avoid any situation that can decrease my HP. If that's the case, then 2 from the remaining 4. What would I do? The SP consumption down is the only one without demerits. It feels too safe. If I have Poison Claw, then I can develop a lot of strategies, but it seems hard to raise its level. The control thread is useful if I can use it, but if I can't use it, the damage is large. The detection is more like a gamble. Mew mew moo. Umu. Yosh, I have decided it. Currently you have 200 skill points. The skill control thread LV1 can be acquired by spending 100 skill points. Do you want to acquire it? Yes. Control thread LV1 was acquired. Remaining skill points 100. Currently you have 100 skill points. The skill detection LV1 can be acquired by spending 100 skill points. Do you want to acquire it? Yes. Detection LV1 was acquired. Remaining skill point 0. I acquired control thread and detection. I have chosen the 2 skills that has the highest gambling element in it, even though I said that I won't take the risk because my life hangs on it. Maybe I'm not suitable for gambling. Anyway, it can't be helped for what I have chose. Let's pray that I can use this too. If it's not usable, I'll cry. Though I don't know whether tears fall from the spider's eyes or not. Chapter S3 Fantasy. I'm currently looking at the picture book opened at my feet. Various creatures are shown in there. The strange illustrations which I had not seen before on Earth was drawn in the picture book. It's called as monster, the harmful creature inhabiting in this world. This is a goblin. Goblin is a human-type monster with green skin and has the size of a human child. Even though it's a human type, it's considered as a weak class monster because it has low intelligence and they don't have any skills, so its status is also low. However, when it levels up and acquires skill, an individual that can use weapons might appear among them. So you shouldn't be careless against it. The maid Anna, who is sitting next to me, explains about the monster that appeared in the picture book. Anna looks young, as in her 20s, but the truth is that she have lived nearly twice of her appearance. She had fought against monsters as a magician in the past. So she taught me about the things that didn't appear in the picture book using her knowledge. Opposite of Anna was my sister, Sue, who imitates me and look at the picture book. Recently, Sue have been imitating me. Unlike me, she can't understand Anna's words because she still speaks with difficulty. I listen to Anna's story seriously, perhaps because I think that I must listen it. I pat her head because the innocent figure was cute. The silky light blue hair feels too good. Sue laughed joyfully because she was patted. Anna and another maid who's at the door, Clevie, look at the figure heartwarmingly. At first, I was embarrassed when being seen like that, but now I'm already used to it. Your Highness and Princess are truly intimate. Hi. Sue and I answer Anna's words at the same time. The answer makes Anna's smile much more deeper. It looks like I have become good at pretending as a child. I return my glance to the picture book. Anna still doesn't know that I can read the words. I can already read the words of this country even though I look like I'm enjoying the pictures. The illustration was at the center of the picture book and only simple words written in the explanation of the monster. Therefore, Anna's story was useful. However, the more I hear Anna's story, the lack of common sense in this world is remarkable. To begin with, there's too many game words like skill, status and level even though it's a serious story. This world is just like a game. Practically, I'm living in this world, so I can't think that it's a game, but still, it can't be changed that this world has the system like game. Skill seems to be draw from the soul, and once reaching a certain strength, a skill will be formed. Status shows the ability value. Level is the numerical value of the power accumulated by the individual. It's explained like that, but as a person who knows about game in the previous life, all of them are insignificant. However, things like this are common in this world and there's no one who even doubted it. I have no choice but to be convinced that this is such a world even though I feel a little out of place. I turn the page of the picture book. The illustration that appeared in the next page was a huge wolf. For comparison of the size, a human is drawn under its feet. For an instant, I thought that the scaling is weird, but Anna's explanation includes the accurate size. This is a Fenrir. It's a myth-rank monster with the size of a mountain and even destroyed a fort partially with only a bite before. Even I have not seen the real thing. That's obvious. Such a huge creature, rather than monster, it's a kaiju. This world is more strange than expected that there's such a huge creature. To begin with, how does it support such a large build? Nay, how does it stand? Anna becomes speechless upon hearing my question. Were the words insufficient? Isn't it heavy if it's this big? And Anna seems to notice the meaning of my question. It might be easier to understand by seeing rather than explaining it. Cleavy. Anna calls Cleavy. Similar as Anna, Cleavy is a maid and guard who formerly worked as female knight of this country. Different from the slim magician Anna, Cleavy's body is stoutly trained. After Anna and Cleavy made their arrangements, both of them took distance and stand. Cleavy opens one hand and pushes it forward. Well then, here I go. Fireball. Anna used a magic towards Cleavy. Fireball is a low-class fire magic that shoots out a small ball of fire. The fireball that had its power held down hits Cleavy's hand. Sue hardens in surprise. I was a little surprised that magic appeared suddenly. To our appearance, Anna and Cleavy laugh as if their mischief succeeded. I'm somehow offended. Is it painful? Sue worries about Cleavy's hand frequently. Yes. It's a little hot, but it's all right. Cleavy answers with a strong voice that is deep for a woman. As what you have seen just now, the higher the status, the stronger it gets. Therefore, even a huge monster won't collapse by its weight. I became anxious and tried to touch Cleavy's palm. The palm of a person peculiar to sword felt a little like hardened skin. However, it was not a feeling of hardness which she could receive the fireball on her. Your Highness, the increase in defense doesn't mean that it will become hard. Is that so? Yes. Rather than harden, it's more like harder to get hurt. As I'm not to that degree, but when it's the hero-sama, it's said that a normal sword can't even scratch him. Cleavy answers my doubt politely. However, something like hard to be hurt, will the intercellular bonds change? No, in this fantasy world, bringing up the Earth's common sense might be wrong. I shelved the hazy feeling in my mind for the time being. Chapter 31 I gained new skills. Pho. Yosh. Let's try the newly acquired skills. First of all, thread manipulation. If it's as the same as its name, then the convenience of my spider thread should increase a lot. The invincible and wonderful spider thread becomes stronger is surely the best. For the time being, I try to release a thread. The problem is beyond that point. If I don't know the way to manipulate the thread, then it's useless to choose this skill. Like the appraisal, I think about it in my mind. Move, move. Oh, there's a slight sense of discomfort on the thread. What's this? It's like something entered the thread. It's a strange feeling that's hard to describe. If I were to compare it, it's like a nerve entered the thread. Can this work? I try to send an order to move after entering the thread. Goo 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 goo. The thread moves a little in a slow movement. On. It moved. No matter how hard I try, I can't make it usable in battle. Ah, I understood it. I have prepared for this. I thought of such possibility. For me, it's still better for it to move. I didn't had any expectations. I really didn't. Ha. My MP decrease a little. I have never seen my MP decrease so far, but this is the influence of thread manipulation, right? Thread manipulation consumes MP. Well, I didn't use MP so far and I'm particularly good with it. For the time being, I should use my MP when I'm free to level my skill. Let's believe that this is surely useful in the long term. I pull myself together, and the next is detect. On. I don't hold expectations on it. At any rate, this has a higher gambling element than thread manipulation. I don't whether it's usable or not. To be frank, it's uncertain whether there's the function for enemy searching that I want or not. There's a possibility that the skill will be completely different. In addition, the thread manipulation is like that and appraisal too the same. To be honest, I shouldn't expect much from level 1 skills. I must think that it's a congratulatory matter if it has the function I want and I understand the way to use it. For the time being, let's do the same as the appraisal. I somehow imaged the feeling of meditating and it looks like it's a right on the mark. Up until now, I can't sense anything, and yet suddenly, I can sense various things. Hey! What's this? The information is extremely thin and I can't distinguish what is there. But, the quantity is not ordinary. Various information flows into my head from many places. Goo. Like the time when I use a large amount of appraisal, a shock hit my head hard. I sever the detect in a hurry. Skill proficiency reached. Skill detect LV1 has become detect LV2. Huh? Isn't it too fast? Hey, seriously, did it just level because of that? No, certainly it did pick up an outrageous amount of information, but, really? No. Let's wait. For a moment. To begin with, what's that? It's totally different from the detect that I imagined and I want to scream about the mysterious phenomenon that occurred. Voice of Heaven-san, can I request an explanation for this? It's useless, right? I knew it. Phew. I need to calm down. Yosh. I try using detect once again to confirm that mysterious phenomenon. I need to be mentally prepared for this, after all, it's dangerous. Ha. Minus. Yosh, detect start. Information that I don't understand well flows into my head even more than the previous one. Skill proficiency reach. Skill detect LV2 has become detect LV3. It's too fast. Goo, I'm reaching my limit soon. I sever the detect. Baya. This is tiresome. But, I somehow understand it. Yes, about detect. The skill's name is detect. It didn't say what it detects. This detect skill, if my thoughts are right, then the effect is more than I imagined. Or rather, it has the effect more than I imagined that makes it doesn't seem usable. In other words, I think that the detect skill detects everything that exists around and the information is sent to the user. Then, it becomes impossible to process the excessive information in the head. Certainly, it has the enemy searching function in it, but to pick up that specific information from that amount is impossible for me who have a tiny brain. It's impossible to do it unless I have the processing capacity at the same level as a supercomputer. Certainly, I did not imagine that the skill will not be usable because of the skill was too high performance. What kind of pitfall is this? What is this? The guy who thought of this, is he the guy who won't be satisfied unless he set up a trap in it? At any rate, detect is not usable. It can't work out somehow even if its level rises, unlike thread manipulation. Or rather, won't my head explode if I raise its level? I already need to shelved it forever. Naiwa. Can't I return the skill back? It's impossible, right? It looks like I really don't have any talents in gambling. The feeling that I have done it is horrible. I'm losing strength. Chapter 32. Growth period? Sisisisu. Basa. Guruguru. Chomp. Itadakamasu. Experience points has reached a certain degree. Individual, small Teratect LV1 has become LV2. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency was acquired. Skill points gained. The level up came. Though I'm sad because no skills leveled up, but I will settle with this. Oh, I found a prey. Sisisisu. Skill proficiency reached. Acquired skill spy LV1. Basa. Guruguru. Chomp. Itadakamasu. Didn't something different mixed in it? I think the voice of heaven said something. On. Skill. Spy. Something like harder to be discovered by the enemy? Up until now I have not been discovered before, so isn't it unnecessary? Well, I will take it if you're giving it to me. Oh, I found a prey. Sisisisu. Basa. Guruguru. Chomp. Conditions met. Title Assassin was acquired. By the effects of the Title Assassin, Skill Spy LV1 Shadow Magic LV1 was acquired. Spy LV1 has unified with Spy LV1. Itadakamasu. I heard something again. Title. Which reminds me that I didn't acquire any new titles since the time I acquired Gross Feeder and Blood Relative Eater. I tried to acquire new titles by performing various mysterious dance, but in the end, I didn't acquire any new titles. An assassin. I think that I'm becoming like a ninja. Oops, found a prey. Sisisisu. Basa. Guruguru. Chomp. Conditions met. Title Monster Killer was acquired. By the effects of the Title Monster Killer, Skill Powerful LV1 Solid LV1 was acquired. Itadakamasu. Oh. I heard something once again. Monster killer? No, but I have been killing monsters all the time in this dungeon. Why now? Is it that? Something like title acquisition after defeating a number of monsters. On. Pwa. Found a prey again. Sisisisisu. Basa. Guru. Chomp. Itadakamasu. Skill proficiency reached. Acquired skill overeating LV1. Again. Today is somehow amazing. I mean, what's this overeating? How is it a skill name? This, don't tell me it's a skill with negative effect? Ah, but I ate. Since evolution, I have not become full at all, but finally, my stomach becomes full. Looks like that mysterious phenomenon of food disappears as soon as I eat is just limited to after evolution. Good. If I still have that different dimension stomach, then something terrible will happen on the angles coefficient. Well, I don't have money, so there's no angles coefficient. I'm penniless. Let's wait a minute. I feel hungry and pass through various things. Didn't that do that very hard today? That did that, and because it's that. On. Let's calm down. My level rose. That's good. If I hunt, sooner or later it will increase, so it's not strange that it increase. I got spy skill. That's also good. When saying it's useful or not, well, it's better than nothing. If it's possible to get it, then I will get it. Title was acquired. Isn't this weird? No, is it good to acquire a title? Is it very good? But getting two in succession. Assassin and monster killer. Both are dangerous title. Ah, I don't have any decent titles. I wonder why now. Well, assassin is a ninja-like title. I acquired spy and shadow magic from it. When it's called as shadow magic, can I enter the shadow? A useful magic for assassination like hide oneself in the shadow. Either way, I can't use it. That's why I have said that I don't know the way to use magic. Ah, instruction manual please. I don't understand about the monster killer. What? Powerful and solid. I don't understand the skills because it's too vague. On. If I think bluntly, is it a skill that increase the physical offensive ability and defensive ability in the status? Or maybe it's a support skill that raise status temporarily. If it's the former case, then it's good, but if it's the latter case, then I don't know the way to use it. After all, I have to leave it as it is. And lastly, overeating. Isn't this really a negative skill? Even as a joke, saying something like overeating to a girl, I feel like want to fight against the voice of heaven. Do you want to say that I'm fat? No. Absolutely no. It's just that after eating I become a little plump only. I will become slim back if I sleep overnight. Look at this slim leg. A beautiful leg that seems to break any moment. The stick-like leg which is impossible to be achieved by humans. Can you still say that I'm fat after that? If it's not after meal, I would be thin. Foe. It's futile. Nobody called me fat before in my previous life, so I reacted a little excessively. On the contrary, I have been called before as Gary and Bone. TL note, /Gary is an overly skinny person. Well, still, wasn't today a day with great progress? This is indeed the first time that I get various things. If possible, I want to continue this condition. Promising. Obviously. Skill proficiency reached. Skill appraisal LV5 has become appraisal LV6. Appraisal. With this, victory is mine. When thinking that the maximum level is 10, a usable function should appear soon. I tried to see my appraisal result while throbbing. Small Terratect LV2 no name. Status. HP 36/36 green. MP 36/36 blue. SP 36/36 yellow. 34/36 red. Average offensive ability 1-9. Average defensive ability 1-9. Average magic ability 1-8. Average resistance ability 1-8. Average speed ability 348. What? Who are you? You're not the appraisal San that I know. The appraisal San I know should be a useless child that's overflowing with disappointing feelings. It's absolutely not a competent cool beauty like you. Where's the real appraisal San? What should I do with the word it's useless that I prepared secretly? You let me hold expectations every time, and when a new feature is added, didn't we made a promise that I will say it's useless in the end? Why do you have to betray my expectations for the promise? Say something. Ha. I lose control of myself for just a moment. I should take a deep breath and calm down here. Foil, ah. Yosh, I returned to sanity. Ah. Didn't appraisal san evolve too much? The difference is extreme so far. No, this is one of the things which I wanted from appraisal san. But somehow I don't feel satisfied. If I were to say it, it's like the same person that graduated from the same middle school as you made his high school debut shrewdly. No, it's incomprehensible even if I do say so myself. Anyway, this functional enhancement of appraisal is terrific. My strength that I didn't know up until now has become obvious. Specific numerical value has appeared and it seems that I can verify various things from now on. Before that, just to be sure, let's examine the word with double appraisal. Small pterodactyl hatchling of the spider-type monster called the pterodactyl. Carnivorous and has poison in its fang. Average offensive ability displays the individual's average physical offensive ability. Although it's the average, the numerical value differs according to the body parts. Average defensive ability displays the individual's average physical defensive ability. Although it's the average, the numerical value differs according to the body parts. Average magic ability displays the individual's average magic application ability. Although it's average, the numerical value differs according to the operation. Average resistance ability displays the individual's average magic defensive ability. Although it's average, the numerical value differs according to the attribute. Average speed ability displays the individual's average speed ability. Although it's average, the numerical value differs according to the body parts. Amazing. Even the explanation has become longer and easier to understand. Appraisal san, to become so excellent. Fumu. Differ according to body parts should mean that if it's human, then it's the difference between hand and leg. The offensive ability changes in the hand and leg. The numerical value that appeared in the status probably is the average of all the body parts. However, my status, no matter how you look at it, it's low, right? I don't know how low my stats are because I can't compare it. But I have raised my level to 10 once and evolve. What's with this number? And among those stats, the speed stands out the most. Isn't it strange? Only the numerical value of the speed is 10 times higher than the others. What a speed specialized character am I? Amumu. When it becomes so, I want to compare it with other monsters. Predicting the results so far, the probability to fail is high when appraisal is used on others. Rather than high, it never succeed in appraising other status except the level. Perhaps, I think that it doesn't change much even if the skill level rose. However, I think that it's worth trying. Therefore, let's look for a prey. Is there a good prey somewhere? Found you. Yosh appraise at once. Elro Grime LV2 failed to appraise its status. Ah. As expected, the appraisal of the another person's status is difficult. There's no help for it. For the time being, seems it's a monster that I see for the first time, let's appraise its species. Elro Grime, the mouse-type monster that inhabit in the Elro Great Labyrinth. Omnivorous and has poison in its fang. Wait a minute. There's a word in the explanation of the monster that can't be ignored. Elro Great Labyrinth, the world's largest labyrinth that connects the Dastoldia continent and Kasanagara continent underground. I confirm my location from an unexpected point. It seems the dungeon I am in is called the Elro Great Labyrinth. Certainly, I have thought before what's the Elro that's attached to the monster's name, so it's the dungeon's name. The world's largest labyrinth. That explains why it's this wide. What does it mean by connecting continents underground? In other words, the top of the dungeon is the sea? Seriously? Then, it's wide. I mean, is it possible for me to go out from this huge labyrinth? I don't want to think about it. While I'm at it, I appraise the name of the continents. Dastoldia continent, it's a continent called as the land of the human race. Human race nation exists in great numbers. Kasanagara continent, the central continent of the world. Proud of its world's largest area. That's the only impression that comes out. If I were to escape, I would like to avoid the Dastoldia continent that is roamed by humans. But I don't seem to have the composure to choose. For the time being, I was able to recognize anew the current condition and I was able to obtain some useful information. Chapter sequel growth period. For the time being, let's kill the mouse that I left it because of the appraisal. Sisisisisu. Basa. Guru. Chomp. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Poison Fang LV6 has become Poison Fang LV7. Ooh. Looks like my fever hasn't ended yet. Wonderful. When thinking about my weak status, if you take away my poison fang from me, then it can be said that I don't have any weapons. My first and last weapon, which is the level of my poison fang, is considerably important. TL note, not sure with this. Let's stop today's exploration soon. My red total stamina gauge still has quite an amount, but I can't afford to force myself further. I make a simple home on the spot. Now that I have secure safety, I won't eat the mouse. Still, I don't feel hungry because I have eaten that much. It's not that I can't eat anymore, but rather than forcing myself to eat it now, I should save it till I wake up. Therefore, I lie down with my bottom. Before that, I have something to do before sleeping. Nyoron. Minus. You noon. Nyan. Minus. It's not like I'm doing something indecent. I'm practicing thread manipulation. What I was able to understand when practicing was that I can only manipulate one thread. It can only move as an earthworm wriggles. The range I can manipulate it is quite wide as long as the thread touches my body. The consumed MP is insignificant. That's what I understand. For the time being, at the current stage, it doesn't seem to be useful in battle. Therefore, before sleeping, I practiced while MP is consumed and raise my skill level steadily. If the level rises, its ability should also rise. Because Appraisal was a child who is capable, so thread manipulation should be usable when it reaches around level 6. But the journey to there might be slightly long. When its level rises, I want to try out various things. Like the protective clothing that I gave up before, or a way to kill using it, or redevelop the enemy searching thread because of the detect. My dream spreads in various ways. Skill proficiency reached. Skill thread manipulation LV1 has become thread manipulation LV2. Level up as soon as I say it. Nyororin. Anu noon. Nayuan. I see. The movement is not bad. Really outrageous. The level rose and the movement improved a little. Still, it hasn't reached the level suitable for battle, but the movement improves remarkably. It might be usable earlier than expected. I still have an amount of MP, so I will earn skill proficiency until I reach my limit. Pwah. Ah, I slept well. After all, I end up persisting until my MP almost exhausted and my thread manipulation managed to reach level 3. I intended to do it until my MP is fully exhausted, but when I'm running short of MP, I felt that it's dangerous to continue. Though I don't know what's dangerous about it, but I stopped my practice because I instinctively knew it would be dangerous if I ran out of MP. After sleeping overnight, my MP is completely restored. On. Like this, I can practice thread manipulation before sleeping without any problems. No, wait. After all, it's fully recovered, so shouldn't I do it after waking up too? At any rate, I don't use MP usually, and if it recovers through time progression, then won't it recover when I'm in the middle of hunting? On. That seems to be more efficient. If there's a problem, then I can change it to practice before sleep only starting from tomorrow. You'll never know unless you try. Thus, I practice my thread manipulation. When my MP almost reaches its limit. Skill proficiency reached. Skill thread manipulation LV3 has become thread manipulation LV4. I heard the voice of heaven. Yosh yosh. Everything's going well. Because of my MP is almost exhausted, I can't confirm how much the movement improved. But it has already reached level 4, so it should be able to move well. Still, it's not usable in battle yet, but in the simple home, it might be possible to experiment on making protective clothing. I'm looking forward for tonight. Now then, let's have breakfast. The menu is the yesterday's mouse. Well then, itadakamasu. Umu. It's bad. Even if I eat, there's no change in MP. It looks like MP doesn't recover by taking meals. Because there might be something like MP restorative medicine, so perhaps, there are ingredients that can recover MP by eating it. The meat of the monster with high magical powers seems to be able to recover. Well, up until now I have never happened to meet a monster that can use magic like magic. However, after I evolved, I'm in good form. My skills keep on leveling and I was able to acquire new titles. It can be said that the wave has come. It's like the era is telling me to shine. Phew fufu. There's nothing that can stop me now. Phew. I will become stronger with this condition and I will advance steadily in the labyrinth. I already know that this labyrinth is wide and there's nothing that I can do but to look for the exit. Well now, my brilliant day begins. Ay. Chapter 35. Therefore, don't get carried away that muckery. Fun fun fun. exploring the labyrinth in a good mood. No, if it's the me now, the monsters around here are not my enemy. As long as I find the enemy first, I can launch a surprise attack. Even if it's not the case, isn't it possible for me to fight head on now? I have evolved and got stronger and my skill level is considerably high, so I don't think that I will expose such an unsightly appearance like the time I fight the frog head on again. When you say whether I can surely win or not, it makes me slightly uneasy. But I think I might go well. I think it's all thanks to the growth rush after evolving. Skill level keep rising and I was able to acquire new titles. Though only the detect turned out slightly disappointing, but the rest were all gains. Thinking back about this good condition rather than after evolution, isn't it after defeating the snake? My level rise at a stretch because I defeat the snake. Food overflows due to the snake's corpse. Thanks to that, evolution is safely done. After that, the fever continues. Oh. As expected, this good condition starts after defeating the snake. What a good luck to meet Snake-sama. Thank you. Ah, forked road. Right and left. Here as usual, advance to the right, on. Somehow, I have a bad premonition. A bad premonition telling me to get away from here quick. I look at the left passage for an instant. Elro Baradrad LV5 failed to appraise its status. Yay. It's a snake. Am I an idiot? Though it has a lower level than the previous snake, but isn't it impossible for me to win without my nest? It noticed me. Moreover, I'm definitely lock on. Escape. I escape to the right passage. Like I can fight against such monster. Who was the fool who said that the monsters around here were not enemies? It's me. No. That snake is clearly a boss unlike the other monsters here. Why are you popping up like any common monsters here? Isn't it stupid? Oh wah. I can hear a dreadful sound chasing after me from behind. Fast. Why you can match with my speed? My speed is 348. I thought that I won't lose in speed against other monsters. To be able to match with it. What are you? Crap. A different monster forward? Elro Randanal LV5 failed to appraise its status. Elro Randanal LV4 failed to appraise its status. Elro Randanal LV4 failed to appraise its status. EHH. Out of all the other monsters, why is it the 3 intimate friend monster? If it's only one of them, then I could have passed through the side. There's no gap to pass through if 3 of them form a line. What should I do? What should I do? I don't have the time to hesitate. Here I go. Sink or swim. I keep my speed and climb the wall. Nuwu. Yes. I did it. Wall run success. I passed through the 3 monsters. Though I heard a terrible sound from the rear, I won't turn around. Though I don't know how long those 3 can hold on, but I should escape before it's too late. Sorry, the 3 monsters I happen to pass by. This is also one of the skills of the law of the jungle. Become a sacrifice for me. Phew. I managed to survive by sacrificing the 3 monsters. I pray that you will be happy. There's no path ahead? Wait, isn't this the same pattern as the centipede's nesting hole? Wah. This is bad. I put too much in my speed so I can't stop suddenly. Why? The destination after I dive with all my might was the air. This is an extremely deep and wide hole. I would die if I fall. I'm falling. New. A stringless bungee is not a joke? String. Come on, spider thread. I shoot my thread to the wall and stick it. Yosh, with this. Gofu. It's very painful. Though the fall stopped, my body strike against the wall due to the recoil. I thought I was gonna die. Chased by a snake and the point ahead of my path was a precipitous cliff which I have to dive in it. I wonder that is this the punishment for being carried away because of the good condition? I understood it. I will reflect my actions. Since I have reflected, can you do something with the threatening buzzing sound since a while ago? Finjoth LV4 failed to appraise its status. Finjoth LV3 failed to appraise its status. Finjoth LV5 failed to appraise its status. Finjoth LV4 failed to appraise its status. It was the bee. It's the monster of the huge bee which I have only seen it once. It flies in this pit innumerably. Hello. I'm sorry. Please overlook me. Seriously, please don't look at here. There's only one way to dodge an attacking bee. Toe. Dive once more. I fall, but this time, I'm different from a while ago. I gave elasticity to the thread that sticks to the wall and fall down safely like bungee jumping. After bouncing 2 or 3 times, I cling to the wall and stick a thread again. Bungee once more. I repeat it until I get down to the bottom layer. Yosh, it's the ground. However, the sky is full of bees. I encourage my tired body and start running again. Chapter 36 Desperate Situation. The large swarm of bees are still flying in the sky. Anyway, I need to leave this place quick. Though I thought so, but my decision was one step slower. A bee way on my back. And then, an intense pain ran through my back. Ouch. I was stabbed. Moreover, from the place that I was stabbed in, something is poured into my body. It's poison. Once it clings on my back, I can't do anything. No, there's one way. It's not the time to mind about my small amount of MP. I manipulate the thread with thread manipulation and attach it to the bee. Then, I restrain it and bind it. Dosey. I grab my thread and thrust the bee down in the manner of the back throw. Though I want to finish it off, but escaping is my priority now. I hide myself in the shadow of the rocky area close to the wall surface. If it's here, with the bee's large build, it shouldn't be able to invade this place. Just as I expected, the several bees which chase after me fly around the surroundings for a while before it gave up and left. I somehow managed to survive. However, I was not flawless. Though I can't see it, but there's a large hole on my back now. In addition, my HP have 6 left. 30 HP was taken away by an attack. I'm not surprised. I understood that my defense is quite low. Rather, thanks to the spider's vitality that I can live on even if I bear such a serious wound. It was also good that my poison resistance level is high. The thing poured into the place where I was stabbed in is surely poison. I don't know whether the poison was nullified or not. Indeed, in that situation, I don't know whether it's the poison damage or the needle damage, but I would be dead by now if I didn't have poison resistance. With this wound, I don't think I can move for a while. I don't know whether it will cure naturally or not. Then, like from before, I want to aim for the complete recovery by leveling up. If that's the case, then I would like to recover the restrained bee that I threw away a while ago too. Gain experience points and food. However, it's not a good plan to get out of here. Should I attach a thread to it using thread manipulation and pull it slowly? Suddenly, I had an unpleasant premonition. I look outside from the rock shade quietly. There was the figure of the restrained bee struggling. And there's the figure of another monster approaching it slowly. Elro Baradred LV5 failed to appraise its status. It's the snake. That guy, did it chase after me? No, it's not. It's probably a different individual even though it has the same level. This is bad. From what I can see, there might be a lot of this snake that has the strength of a boss-class monster in this area. If I were to be discovered in such wounded state, I would die. The snake approaches the bee slowly. You can take the bee, so please don't notice me. However, the snake did nothing on the bee. To be exact, it can't. Something tore up the snake's body at tremendous speed. Huh? Did my eyes gone crazy? That snake easily became small pieces like a scrap of papers. That snake which was protected with strong scale. The snake that has the speed equal to me didn't even have the time to react. Earth Dragon Alaba LV31 failed to appraise its status. It was there calmly. Contrary to the name called dragon, it has the form that looks like a wolf. The limbs which step firmly on the ground. A long tail. Without wings. There was the figure of a majestic dragon. This is bad. Instinct as a spider, reasoning as a person, the cry from the soul, all of it gathers the voice. That is not good. There's no chance to win. In the first place, it's not an opponent that can be decided in victory or defeat. Judging from it, I look only like a feed. I'm not even a prey. It's decided that I would be eaten when I entered its view. The existence is just that isolated. The high level is just a trivial problem. No matter how it is, that is definitely bad. Earth Dragon Alaba chews the snake that have been torn asunder one by one. I desperately hold my breath. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Stealth LV1 has become Stealth LV2. Shut up. I beg you, please be silent. What would I do if it noticed me? When the Earth Dragon Alaba finished chewing the snake, it left without taking notice on the beat. I was saved. I don't know whether it didn't notice me or it did notice me, but it overlooked me. Anyway, I was saved. Even though I have experienced many almost death situation, but in fact, now I'm half dead. This might be the first time I thought that it was that dangerous. I'm even scared to recall about it. This is bad. With that guy roaming around this area, I must escape immediately by any means. I look around the surroundings. Here is the bottom of the pit where I have fallen. The diameter of the hole seems to be around 100 meters. The depth is more than that. At any rate, I don't know the height well. The large swarm of bees covers the sky like a wall. I'm glad that the appraisal didn't activate because there's a distance. Otherwise, I might lose my consciousness when I appraise such a number. I must face the large swarm of bees to return to the original area. Moreover, while climbing the cliff up. Impossible. I can't fight while clinging on the cliff. In such state, I can't move quickly and my aim using the thread won't be accurate. This is the field that completely seal off my strong points. As for the bee, it can move around freely in the air. There's no chance to win. Even so, it's a suicidal act to explore the ground where such a monster exists. Some passages are connected in the bottom of the pit. Sink or swim. Should I advance to a different passage from the one that monster went? I can't. With such a serious wound, even if it's not that monster, everything will be over if I encounter a monster. This is bad. I'm probably checkmated. Chapter 37 Struggles. After the Earth Dragon left, I watched the surroundings excessively for a long time. Even if I do that much, I still can't feel relieved. I can't be relieved, but it won't begin unless I start acting. I extend a thread with thread manipulation towards the bee which was left restrained. Ugh, my back hurts. But it doesn't seem that I have any problem to release the thread. The thread extends slowly and finally, it connects to the bee. The bee is still struggling, but when it comes to this, I don't matter already. Moreover, I better recover it quickly before it draws a different monster. My wound hurts whenever I pull it. I want to think that it's alright because my HP didn't decrease anymore even though the pain is intense. Finally, the bee is recovered. I drive in my poison fang immediately to kill it. When thinking that the poison fang is effective against monster that uses poison isn't my skill level for poison fang and poison resistance is considerably high compared to the other monsters. Well, I don't care about such thing now. The problem now is what should I do from now on? To be frank, I think that it's a suicidal act to explore this area. When I think that there are other monsters like the Earth Dragon, I won't be able to survive. That is not good. Even though I have crossed various dangerous bridges up until now, but that one, the danger is not equal. Even after saying this and that, I take pride in being able to fight. Though now, I wander around the dungeon and use the surprise attack strategy. My original style was to make a nest and withstand a siege. I understood that the simple home was able to overthrow the snake, so if I make a nest seriously assuming a defensive battle, there's no monster who can break through it. It should be. That will most likely break through it. Moreover, with great ease. That has the power to that extent. Thread, poison fang, surprise attack, speed. My distinctive characteristics too becomes petty tricks in front of that. Such petty tricks will be kicked about before the overwhelming power. I can imagine the figure easily. That was the second monster that I can't win no matter how I struggle after being born as a spider. By the way, the first one was my father, which is a huge spider. Though it's a problem that I can't win, it's a big problem that its speed is faster than me. Even if the nest is broken through, I can still escape in the meantime. Perhaps, I would be seething with anger, but in the end, I will surely escape with my life. It's possible with my speed. But, that will exceed my speed. I can't win even if I fight it. It's impossible to escape. It becomes hopeless once I'm marked down. What an absurd existence. If I know that there's that, charging to the snake knowing that it's impossible was way much better. Moreover, that might not be the only one in this area. I'm scared. Up until now, this is the closest one to death. I'm surprised to learn that there's still feelings of being scared in myself. Even if I have various absurd experience, I never felt nervous and fearful before. So I thought that I have put away such feelings somewhere long ago. I understood it after I'm in this situation. Up until now, the dangers was only that much. It didn't reach the level that I would feel fear. It's not because my feelings have died, but it's because that it's not necessary to feel so. Haha. It's too late to understand it. I wanted to realize it before I'm checkmated. Then, I might be able to aware about the dangers a little. Let's stop regretting here. Let's think about what should I do to survive. First of all, securing safety. I will make a nest around this rocky area even though it's useless against the earth dragon. In the present condition, my state is not good to move. Since it became this way, there's no use holding grudge. The third home will be made here. And, if possible, I want to draw weak monsters like the bee and kill it. Aiming for the recovery by level up. It can't be helped until this wound recovered. With my current state, it's possible to die with a poke by a small fry monster. I better not expect for natural recovery. When it becomes so, I should have acquired the automatic HP recovery skill. There's no help for it even if I regret it. I should give up resolutely here and switch my feelings. For the time being, let's build a base with this aim. To be frank, it's not a good plan to build a base here. It will only stand out if I build a base here and when a strong monster of the Earth Dragon class found it, it would be the end. But, this is the only way I can take for the current me who's wounded. After that, I have no choice but to bet on my bad luck. I will aim for leveling now. After my wound has cured by level up, I will think about escaping from this dangerous area. Either I break through the army of bees and go to the top, or explore the bottom knowing its dangers. Either way, I will experience hell. But now that I have fallen into the bottom, ultimately, there's only two choices: either to live or die. Live fortunately or die unfortunately. Presently, the scale inclines towards the death. Will it continue fall or will it make a recovery? Let's act to make a recovery. Fortunately, I still have the stamina to make the nest. Because the bee is considerably big, it's very helpful for a food. Let's turn all the stamina that is obtained from this body to make the nest. From there ahead is up to my skills and luck. Chapter 38 Spider vs. Bee. On the first day, I made the minimum necessary nest and slept. Though it's hard to say that I was able to sleep soundly because of the backache, I'm relieved that I was not attacked while I'm sleeping. Not only the attack, I also thought that I would die because of the wound, and when I woke up safely, I felt relieved from the bottom of my heart. When I confirm my HP, it's 6 just like before I sleep. It's a difficult position whether I should be disappointed that it didn't recovered or I should be relieved that it didn't decrease any further. On the second day, I spent my day on expanding the nest. There's the backache too, so the nest making ran into difficulties than I thought. Because the bees came close many times, I became more cautious every time and I have to stop working. Unlike until now, working while being cautious of the surroundings wore down my nerves. I took considerations of my stamina by eating the bee which I caught yesterday little by little between times. In this situation, the danger rises exponentially if I were to run out of stamina. My dependency on stamina is especially high. Stamina is needed to produce thread and to act normally. Even without it, I must at least save enough stamina for one battle. In addition, I don't know whether I can secure food or not after this, and I need to be careful in my stamina management if I'm prepared for a protracted battle. And it became clear on this day that the pain resistance level jumped up at a stretch. The last time when the pain resistance leveled up, if I'm not mistaken, it should be on level 2, and yet what I heard from the voice of heaven while I was making the nest was skill proficiency reached. Skill pain resistance LV6 has become pain resistance LV7. It jumped up to level 7 straight. I thought about what happened to it, but I think that it leveled up while I'm sleeping. I had such an uneasy sleep, so if the rising condition of the skill proficiency is feeling pain, then the possibility that the skill proficiency accumulates when I was sleeping is high. When I think back, I have a feeling that I heard the voice of heaven while I'm in trance. Though I understood it, but when I thought that the pain resistance was a skill that relieves pain, it was not so. I thought that it's strange that the pain didn't not ease at all even though the skill level is 7, but it seems that this skill is something like movement is possible by enduring. To be frank, it's subtle. There's no change that it's painful and there's a limit on moving even if it says so. When I first acquired this skill, I really felt that the pain get eased, but it looks like I only felt like it. Then, the pain resistance rose to level 8 after one whole day. The third day. I already finished eating the bee that I caught. The nest also has expanded within limitations and now I must move on to the next stage. That is hunting to level up. The problem is how to catch a prey. Even though they become closer before, but it doesn't attacks, either it's being cautious or not. If it attacks without any plans, it will be as expected, but it didn't go well to that extent. For the time being, I should wait for a chance while watching the bee. Though I tried provoking the bee that came near indirectly, but it didn't come attacking. There are some things that I understood from observing the bees. First of all, they basically form a group of 5 or 6. It divides into groups and acts respectively. There's a leader in each group. High Finjoth LV1 failed to appraise its status. It's High Finjoth. Judging from the name, it's a high-rank species and it might be an evolved individual. Its level is also 1, so the possibility is high. There's also bee with level 8 or 9 that's on the brink to evolve among the common species of the bee. Once it evolves, it should become the leader of the group. The captain bee has slightly deep color than the ordinary bee. That's the only difference. Both the size and figure are the same. Though I don't know because I never succeed in appraising its status, but the high-rank species should be higher than the ordinary bee. Well, still, I don't think that it can break through my web. I think that it didn't do anything unnecessary because it understands it well. When thinking so, that bee might be considerably smart. The group masses and disappears in the passage bottom of the pit. After a while, it kills the prey and bring it back. Like that, groups are formed and they hunt efficiently. As expected, the captain seems to be smart. Though there are several bees that seems to be lost or acting without permission. Apart from that, it's considerably important that there are monsters that the bees can hunt in this bottom. Not everyone here is a monster like the earth dragon. I'm relieved just to have know it. Still, there are groups that never return, so I can't relax my guard. Not returning means that they have been defeated. Among the group that returned, there are some holding their comrade's corpse, so this area is definitely dangerous. I continued observing the state of the bee. Chapter 39 Spider vs. Bee. Third day. When I think that I should sleep soon, there's a divine message from the voice of heaven. Skill proficiency reached. Skill pain resistance LV9 has become pain nullity. Conditions met. Skill pain alleviation LV1 was derived from skill pain nullity. The pain resistance rose again. Moreover, it looks like it went up from 8 to 9 before I know it. It probably rose while I'm sleeping. The level notation disappeared and it changed into nullity in the name. Indeed, it feels like reaching max value in a game. This is the second skill to reach its max level after night vision. This should be the first time I raise the skill level to 10 by myself because it looks like that the night vision was a high-level skill by nature. Though it's doubtful that whether it's worth having felt pain or not. Well, I think that the derived skill is a genuine skill that relieves pain. No, the pain resistance is not a fake. There's no much change in level 1. As usual, the backache still exists. If the skill level rises, the pain might get better. Let's expect that the skill level rises while I sleep. That's why, good night. Fourth day. Since my stamina is starting to decrease gradually, I intend to act soon. My aim is the bee that got lost. The risk is higher to aim at a group. I think I probably can win. Though I think I should be more careful here. When there are multiple opponents, an unexpected situation can occur. In that respect, it's easier to do with the lost one. The lost one's judgment is vague because it's not commanded by the captain bee. When I was observing yesterday, there was an individual that entered the narrow tunnel that the group can't enter. I think that the individual that I caught once in the nest before also got lost after entering a strange passage. But I don't think that the individual managed to reach my nest from this place, so it's most likely that there's a different swarm of bees near that place. From what I saw, the lost one doesn't seem to be intelligent. Therefore, it might be contented with getting lost without forming a group. Anyway, the lost one might attack if I provoke it. However, I don't intend to go with this uncertain strategy. I take out the new weapon that I thought of yesterday. The hardened adhesion thread shaped like a ball which is attached to the tip. I name it Kummerning Star. Phew fufu. I will hit this on the bee in the air with the physical strength and the power of thread manipulation. Perhaps, or more precisely, it won't hit most of the times. But it's good. I just need it to recognize that I'm an enemy. After that, it should attack me arbitrarily. It's lucky if I hit it. I succeed if I manage to draw its attention. After that, I hope that the lost one comes near to the nest. From yesterday's observation, it should go well because the lost one came to see the state of the nest frequently. Skill proficiency reached. Skill pain alleviation LV2 has become pain alleviation LV3. While waiting, the skill level of pain alleviation rose. The level rise is considerably slow compared with the pain resistance. I thought that it will rise to around 5 while I sleep, but it didn't rise that much. The condition of skill proficiency accumulation is different? Or is it that the amount of necessary skill proficiency is different according to the skill? I don't know. But it's clear that the level rose. The pain alleviation is surely a skill that relieves pain. Thanks to that, my backache doesn't hurt much anymore. The wound on the back is considerably severe. Though I wrapped the wound with the thread using thread manipulation on the first day, but a big hole opened splendidly. If it's a human, this is surely a death wound. Did I survive because I'm a spider? Or because I'm a monster? Either way, it's a serious wound that's mysterious to be alive. I thought I was gonna die of the pain when my wound was cleaned with thread manipulation with the intention to scrape out the thing that seems to be poison. I need to level up as soon as possible to recover this wound. If I leave the wound as it is, it will definitely turn worse before long. Suppuration, necrosis, bacterial infection. Even though I washed it with thread manipulation, I didn't wash it with clean water and it was not disinfected. I must do something before the symptoms appear. And then, a chance came. A lost one is coming here. There are no other bees around. When there's another bee, there's a possibility that it will rush towards its comrade's pinch. Now that I don't have to worry about that, it's the perfect opportunity. I swing the Kummerning star. Concentrate. Concentrate. Aim well and there. Skill proficiency reached. Acquired skill concentration LV1. Ah, it hit. I acquired a skill at the same time. Ooh. I never thought that it would hit. The Kummerning star that I threw hit the bee's body splendidly. Without delay, I use thread manipulation to coil a thread around the bee's body. I guide the bee that acts violently into the nest. And make it as a victim of my poison fang. On. It turned out well from the very beginning. This seems to be a good sign. No. I must not get carried away. Because of that, I had a terrible experience. Let's be modest here. For the time being, let's have a meal since I managed to step forward to the first step. Well then, Itadakamasu. Chapter 40 Spider vs. Bee. For the time being, I was able to secure food. When thinking about the size of the bee's body, I can survive from starvation for a few days. It's not necessary to worry about my stamina now. Then, the choices of action increase. The most realistic one will be keep hunting the bees with the same method until I level up. I can earn experience steadily and safely rather than exploring. Another idea is to expand the nest more. Towards the top. I don't want to explore the bottom area here. It's not the problem whether it's possible or not. No way. Earth Dragon is scary. Impossible. That's why I want to crawl up back to the original passage. To do that, I must somehow dodge the bees. I would become the bees' prey if I climbed the wall simply, so I must think about some measures. Therefore, the idea that I can think of was to extend my nest to the top. Calling it an idea or just basically bulldozing through. It's a terrible brute force even if I say so myself. But, I can't think of another method to return to the top. Of course, there are various demerits too. First of all, making the nest consumes a lot of stamina. Moreover, I need to make the nest to climb the wall to the top unlike the usual one. Because the situation is different, I don't know how much stamina I will use. It will become a considerably large-scale nest making and with the bee I have now, my stamina won't last long. It's necessary to replenish it somehow. Besides, I might end up fighting against the bee. Though now I'm overlooked by them, but if I extend my nest upwards, I will be invading the bee's main territory. It's an airspace violation. Will those guys overlook me? The worst, several hundreds will attack and if I'm unlucky, the large army of bees of several thousand will attack all at once. It might become such nightmare-like situation. As expected, the nest won't be able to defend against such a number. What I should be cautious of is not only the bee. At present, there's no other monster except the bee that enter the bottom of this pit. Only the snake and earth dragon at the beginning. But, if that earth dragon appears suddenly. Although I hide in the rock shade last time, I will stand out if I expand my nest. It's the end if it's curious about it. Even now, I'm still scared that the earth dragon might come or not. That's why if I succeed, I can escape from this very dangerous zone, but the risk of the strategy is high. But, I don't have any other choice. Perhaps, there's one but it didn't come into my mind. Therefore, I resolved myself and start making the nest. First of all, the foundation. At first, to build a house, I must make a strong foundation. It's not an exaggeration to say that the result of the house is decided by the foundation. A rock suitable for such a foundation is here. The first rock which I escaped to. The rock enshrined close to the wall, having the height around 7 meters and the width around 5 meters. It's considerably large. I will make this rock as the foundation and expand the nest. The completed nest is made between this rock and the wall and a little protruded sideways. First of all, I block the gap between the rock and the wall on the other side. And I attach a thread to the wall diagonally from the top of the rock. I connect the rock and the wall with that thread as a core. With this, the foundation is completed. After that, I just need to expand the nest to the top slowly, recovering stamina by eating the bee, and continue working. On the middle of working, the group of bees looked here several times, but as expected, it didn't attack. It seems that I'm still in the range that can be overlooked. I stopped the work on this day after I finished eating the bee and I went to sleep. 5th day. I think that the pain has softened somehow. HP is as usual, still 6. My skill level of the pain alleviation didn't increase while I was sleeping because I didn't recover. It's probably so. It's wonderful that there are few pains. After all, thanks to pain nullity, I was able to move without any problems, but as expected, there's a huge difference between there's pain and there's no pain. No, it's not like the pain has gone completely and my wound was not cured yet. It's quite comfortable. Because I never suffered such a serious wound before when I was a human. The most painful experience I had when I was a human was when my little toe hit the corner of the door. That was painful. But I can't compare it with the serious wound on my back. The work advances smoothly because I'm in a good mood. In the middle, a lost one came close. But the group is relatively near to Fumu. With the meaning of experiment, I will meddle with the lost one. Whether the group will react for the lost one or not. If the group reacts, I will withdraw immediately deep into the nest. If it doesn't react, I will go as it is. I swing the Kummerning star. That reminds me, the skill called concentration that I acquired previously, is it a skill that only increased the ability to concentrate? Well, it won't have great effects in level 1, and even if it has a different effect, I just leave it if I can't use it. Concentrate. Concentrate. The concentration is disturbed when I was thinking of concentration. What is this? I aim well and, here. Ah, it hit. Isn't that amazing? Though I thought I can't hit it. It has hit 2 times in a row. In a physical fitness test of softball throw, me, who got the lowest score in my school year. Oops, I was surprised and I didn't see the movement of the group. The group was there. Fumu. No movement. So there's no counterattack even if I attack a lost one. Aren't they heartless? Or is it that it can't live in the wild if it's not that strict? Well, either way, it's convenient that it doesn't attack. With this, I can hunt the lost one without reserve. I recover the bee that I caught with an overjoyed face. I finish it off with my poison fang.